Testing, 1, 2. Hi guys, testing. How we doing? Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. I have a new name. Oh boy, y'all are a trip. Let me get this adjusted. Hang on. So my new name is Shawn Cigar. That's funny. Great. So guys, I am literally just getting back from Tampa, Florida, the Tampa Bay area, and so I want you guys to bear with me. I'm a little jet lagged, but I wanted to get this show done because I have a lot of things planned for myself in April, and I needed this to be an accomplishment, a fait accompli. Hang tight. Let me adjust my camera again because my screen is not to my satisfaction. Apologies. And then we'll get started. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Yep, it is. Sorry, this is not the standard production values you've come from this highly acclaimed IG live chat, but I will clean it up for YouTube. Promise. Okay, let's start the show. I did have a good time. I really did. We'll talk about it. We'll talk a little bit about it. Hey, Amira, how you doing? Here's the thing, folks. I'm back from vacation. Did I miss anything? I mean, what happened, right? I mean, a lot of stuff happened while I was gone, apparently, right? Noticeably, that. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it in full. But you know what's so funny, now that I think about it, is that the reason why it's a controversy is probably because this is one of the few times I can remember a situation that is a transcendent form of white privilege for a black man. I mean, you got people upset here. Seriously upset here. But boy, there's so many people who want to give grace when they forget about some other things that may have happened that may have been ugly in people's past. I don't know if that's the time to bring in Janet Dubois. But I find it interesting that we have a moment of white privilege, and I say that because a man publicly slaps another man in one of the largest audiences possible. And he is given grace like a white person by everyone thinking about all the things that he's gone through, all the things that he may have divulged and mentioned in his book. all the things that are pivotal and critical to understanding the psyche of someone who may lose it for a moment. Or for some people to say, excuse some things. I'm not talking about excuses here or there, but I say white privilege was extended because folks go out of your way to extend you grace when they like you. And that's white privilege. When you're black, no one cares about your trauma. They just put your ass in jail. When you're black, you just get the punishment. When you're black, the judge is not asking you what happened in your childhood. When you're black, everyone gets to say, so. As in, so what? As in, yeah, that sucked. But you got to do this crime. CNN has investigated and learned that the Academy did ask Will Smith to leave after that assault. Will refused and got to stay. He wasn't removed. He got to stay. That also tells you it wasn't a joke, folks. It wasn't a job. The Academy asked him to leave. And he stayed. That is white privilege. And so there's something kind of proud that white privilege was extended to a black man. And the black man used it to his highest regard. And he partied afterwards. Pardon. That's a helicopter flying over my DC neighborhood, possibly looking for a black man who's not extended black privilege, white privilege. Not like Will Smith. We'll get into the other stuff later, but that's my immediate observation. Screw it. Let's start the show. Oh. It's the Shawn Show and Tyrone, presented by Body Butter Bakery. Tonight, and I don't even have the board set up because I'm just flying in from Tampa Bay. But my guest tonight is Tommy Taylor Jr. We also have, of course, Tyrone as my co-pilot. Kym will be checking in from the Body Butter Bakery. And I have a Shawn Says. So. But first, we're going to start off. We're a little behind schedule, so I apologize. But we're going to get started here with a lot of your comments and questions. I look exhausted. Oh, you have no idea. It's a good exhaust. But we're going to start with a couple of questions that are going to be answered by my main man, Dr. Ira Davis, as soon as we find him and pull him up. Is so good at explaining these issues, and I want him to explain some important issues when he comes to the show, because we don't just revel in catnip. We revel in, oh, geez, what are you, Orange Juice Jones? What the? Are you in the car? Like,
I'm in the car, brother. I'm at my son's track meet.
I dig this. All right. You're at your son's track meet, but you're still going to explain a big, important issue.
Big, important issue.
Well, before we get into that issue, you know, Ira Explains The Ish. We got to get you some theme music keyed up. What is this ish that you're about to explain for us, Ira?
Inflation.
Inflation. So I rented a car down there for 2 days. The car rental itself was $100. The gas was $7,822. Like, this inflation is crazy. Can you explain inflation for us in 120 seconds, Dr. Ira Davis?
All right, here we go.
Let's get it.
Back in February, inflation was 7.9% higher than it was in February 2021. And that was its biggest increase in 40 years. But it's not just gas and groceries. The cost of renting a place to live was 17% higher than it was in February last year at that time. That's according to Realtor.com, and it means rent costs are at the highest level ever. The average rental car in the U.S., according to Kayak, averages $76 a day, more than $20 higher than 2 years ago. That's likely because regular gas is on average more than $4 a gallon this month, the highest of any month in history, up from $2.51 in March of 2019. Kayak shows hotel rates about $300 per night, up nearly $70 since March of 2019. Even theme parks will cost you more, from paid express line to pricier food. And that is the ish. Inflation is about 8% higher than it was last year.
8% higher than it was last year. Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Yes, brother.
You're so good at explaining the ish. So let me ask you this. So since you explained inflation, you explained it so well. Can you explain the difference between parkways and driveways? If people park on driveways and drive on parkways, can you explain that?
I can't, my brother.
I also want to know, how do people get, like, Bill out of William? Can you explain that?
The only thing I can get is Will out of William.
That's what I get too. And that's what kills me about this Will Smith story. No one ever calls him Billy. Well, I appreciate you, brother.
All right, all the time, brother.
Enjoy your son.
All right, you too.
No more explaining the ish for you. All right, take it easy, brother.
All right.
Oh, my word. Once again, Dr. Davis has explained the ish for the last time in this volume of episodes, because we are going to take a 2-week break just to regroup. I have a lot of great shows coming up. And there he goes. Kym, what are you?
I was getting it together. Good evening.
Good evening. You're getting it together. Okay.
Hey,
You always got it together. You always, it got. You always got it together. You look lovely.
Thank you. Hey, jet lag.
I am.
How was your audition?
Oh.
Okay.
It is good though, I think. I don't know if the makeup works, but yeah, it was good. So I'm glad, and now I'm back in DC, where it was 40-degree difference when I got off the plane.
Can't relate.
Whatever, Kym. So what's going on in the Body Butter Bakery before we get on with the show?
So I am a little behind on releasing new products. I have my bottles for my men's oils. I don't have my labels.
Kym, do you want to sell product?
I do. I swear I do.
Do you know what this segment is for? It's for you to sell product, right?
It is. But it's also for me to be transparent. And the reason I do not have the oils on the website is because I do not have the labels.
Okay. When will you have the labels, Kym?
Next week.
So when we come back from our little 2-week hiatus, you'll have the labels and you'll be ready to sell some stuff.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
And to repeat, you're done selling body butter until October.
Correct.
I'll tell you, I went down to your home state in Florida and I brought some body butter with me,
Mhm.
and it was body butter soup because it was so hot.
I wonder if that happened on the plane.
I don't know.
Because you're closer to the sun.
Or maybe when I didn't turn on the air conditioning in my hotel room for a second.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. But you're gonna have some male products happening.
Yes.
They've been going on. You got these body oils that are ready to go. You have this lip balm. And what flavors of lip balm do you have?
Mango margarita, strawberry mojito, and peach sangria.
Ooh, sounds delicious.
All alcohol free, but they're good.
Well, what's the point?
Well, you know. Hey, Ty.
Hey, Kym, how you doing?
Ty.
Good.
How's the beard, Ty?
Still growing. Okay, all right. You haven't given up. I like it.
Nope.
Well, we're also watching this week by week, you know. So, if we were to go away for like 2 or 3 weeks, which we are going to do, although Ty will never go away from the gram. Ty is everywhere. It's going to be you think it'll be full Ty? What do you think it'll be?
Maybe. This is about as good as it's going to get. It's just going to get nappier.
Somebody said that I have a new nickname called Shawn Cigar. That's clever. I don't know where they got that nickname from, but it was a good trip, and I'm glad to be back and kick it with my man Tyrone one more time. You know, when we come back, Ty, from our vacation, well, our vacation from this, because you know we all do our own different things. It'll be 15 years I'll be in DC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. You and your friend were celebrating together, right?
Yeah, me and Chris.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah. All right, let's get off this. And get on with the show. I need some energy. I need to get my energy going. So we're gonna get some comedy.
Where's your beverages? Neither one of y'all have your beverages. Wine is close by.
I just finished a protein shake.
Okay.
And I will be sipping water tonight. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, I got my water.
I'm back on my health kick.
I also got my liquor back here. I'm looking right at it. So
I might. Depends on how the night goes.
You can mix that with a protein shake?
Well, I didn't have a protein shake. You did.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, maybe later.
Kym, you ain't drinking, huh?
I'm not.
So you're in the Body Butter Bakery right now.
I am.
But
these are the oils behind me.
Those are the oils. Okay. When we get our hands on these oils, how are we to use them as guys?
Fresh out of the shower, towel dried. You just rub it on your body. If you have body butter, you'll use the body butter first. The oil will seal in the moisture from the body butter. If you don't have body butter, you just use the oil alone.
All right, I'm a fan of this.
It's not good to use the oils alone, but you have to.
See, Ty's he's already purchased and endorsed the Bay line of products, which are edible from Body Butter Bakery. Do you have any more Bay products that are edible?
I do not. Sorry.
Girl, what you doing with yourself? I'm gonna still put your website in here.
Okay. I need more hands. I don't know. It's a lot.
There's so many ways to take that comment. Bodybutterbakery.com. Miss Kym Dudley. Thank you so much, Kym. We'll talk to you later if you're still up. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I got a question for you. You're a lady. Did you need would you need your man to defend you after
Oh yeah, see, I'm not getting in that.
I saw you had a poll and it's like you team Will, you team Chris, and the answer was neither damn one of them, or something like that.
Correct. I'm team everything is due Friday. That's my team. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Except these labels on these oils that you can't sell till you get the labels right.
Jab.
We're trying to make some money.
Uppercut. I like it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get it. And by the time when we come back, I'll have them. They'll be ready, labeled on the shelf, ready to go.
I want mine first.
Deal. Got it.
All right. Thank you, Kym.
Yes, sir. See y'all later.
All right, again.
Bye, boss
I,
lady.
I used to mess with my sister all the time, but I was gonna mess with Kym, but I won't mess with her. But I used to say to my sister in situations like this, hypothetically speaking, let's just say you had a man.
Let's just,
Let's just say you had a man.
First of all, there's so many things wrong with how you couch it like that. Hypothetically speaking.
And if you had a man,
let's just say you did have a dude.
would you want him to risk everything?
You know what's interesting, Ty? You know, we talk about defending women and all that stuff. And we do, both of us, we believe in defending women. There was a story I saw that circulated that when Terry Crews said that he was harassed and molested by, not molested, but harassed sexually by Harvey Weinstein. And Harvey Weinstein grabbed his crotch and all that. And Terry couldn't believe it. He was furious. And he told his wife, and he was ready to go whoop Harvey Weinstein's ass. And the wife, Miss Richardson, Reverend Richardson, she's like, no, baby, stop. As a measure of looking after his interest as well, and not just him getting this so-called satisfaction, as the old folks would say in duels and stuff. So Terry Crews is like, I won't get my satisfaction this way. My wife thought better of it. She was my cool head when I was hot. And so we don't even look at it on that aspect of this topic. Do you think there's something to that? We're about to bring in Tommy Taylor Jr., a comic who can talk about another.
Well, I think that's just self-control on her part. I think one thing that a lot of people are overlooking, and it's, to me, it's like clearly the only thing that I see right now, and that's everyone gets to benefit off a black woman's pain right now. And that's something that we're not even talking about. You know, we're just talking about what Will did and what Chris did and who's apologizing to who and if he should stay and privilege. And I don't even think it's about any of that. When I first looked at it, I honestly thought that they was using two black dudes to bring more attention to the Oscars.
Well, it's the biggest. Well, you can't deny that happened. I mean, let's just be glad that it wasn't Warren Beatty's wife, not Warren Beatty, but Alec Baldwin's wife, who was, because that didn't end well. Alec Baldwin was up there.
So remember the last time we talked about the Oscars? I made a comment and I said they is not gonna give no Oscar to a black man named King. Remember when I said that?
You did say that.
So this could be the payment for getting that Oscar.
Well, wait a minute, but who paid who? Like, black produced show, black man who didn't want to hear a joke about his wife, and a black man who gave a joke and apparently didn't consult before he gave the joke. Who moved that?
You really think that's the first Jada joke he ever heard?
No. That's certainly the first Jada joke that he ever heard. That's the point. Like, it's just like the week before, Laverne Cox, the transgender actress and model, asked on the red carpet, or 2 weeks before on the red carpet, to Will and Jada right beside each other. So no more entanglements, you know, referring to the infamous red table stuff. And, you know, he swallowed it and just sort of smiled it off, and Jada was doing her Jada thing. No more entanglements. And then we flash forward to this Chris Rock joke that is a reference to like a damn near 30-year-old Ridley Scott movie of a strong, beautiful woman who decides to break through in the military.
Yeah.
Which completely unrelated. Like, Chris Rock, as vicious as he is, he could have gone those directions. Yeah. You think that was all a big work by the Oscars itself? So Will Smith can get besmirched on what seemed to be the biggest night of his life?
I'm not going to go that far, but I am going to say people know who they can and can't run up on. Right?
Well, you know, that's true. That's true.
It might have been something deep there. I think he just kind of lost control if it was real. You know what I mean? And to lose self-control and to, you know, if I mean, Jada was sitting right next to him, and if she didn't stop him from going up, you know what I mean? She condoned that. She could have called him back. I think he could have had the same effect, by saying, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
He could have sat down and said all that and showed his anger, and that would have been enough.
And it would have had the same effect, I think.
But he walked up there with a smirk too, Ty. He was kind of smart.
He laughed when he walked away.
He laughed when he walked away.
Yeah, I thought it was fake when he walked away. I thought it was fake.
We're waiting for comedian Tommy Taylor Jr. to pop up in here and give us his thoughts. Also, just as a man of the tribe of being on stage, like, okay, you're gonna have to frisk the crowd before you get up in there. Are you now censoring yourself? Like, what is? I don't. Where we go with this, people keep excusing that. I don't think there's any excuse for it. You can understand it all you want, but it's different than excuse.
It's gonna go to people who's just gonna start whipping ass back.
Why did they air it? They aired it because it was live. First Home Tuber, it's a live show.
No, it was live in other countries. You know what I mean? Yeah. They could censor that.
Well, they gave the delay for it. Meanwhile, Tommy Taylor just popped in a very Machiavelli looking setup. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, fellas?
Looking fly as usual. Tommy Taylor Jr., everybody, comedian, actor, and a man of the stage and the mic. He was on our first time doing this. We had a comedy-filled show, the joke game, and this is the joke game. The other side of the joke game of mics and men. Now we got to talk about manhood and protecting your wife and your spouse and controlling angers and what do comedians do? Tommy, what say you? Just so your initial thought when you saw / heard of the slap heard around the world.
So I was actually out performing, and I saw like the Instagram highlights. Initially, I thought it was fake. To be honest with you guys, I thought it was like a stunt because like when he walks into the stage, like Chris is leaning up, like
he's bracing for like. What is Will gonna improv?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna try to say something to him.
He literally has his hands behind his back. He leans up, and then Will, like, he just comes forward and smacks him, and it seems like it was scripted. And then he sits down, and then like the verbiage after that was kind of like, oh, like what's going on? And you see people's reactions. You're like, yo, like what's this for real? It's not for real. So I honestly thought it was scripted, but I don't know. The weird thing about it to me was like Jada and Will aren't even sitting next to each other.
They're across. They're like catty-corner across from each other.
If you look at it, I just watched it a couple times, but when you look at the footage, like they don't even look at each other during the whole time. Like when Will's on stage and he comes back, she kind of like laughs, and but they never make eye contact. Like, yo, like what's going on? Or like, yeah, I appreciate you, or like a smile, nothing. So
right,
it's like they're in their own separate worlds. I don't know. The whole thing was weird.
Like you look at how she's seated across but diagonal, sort of catty corner to Will. She sort of looks like the school teacher when you go on a field trip and she has the front of the bus and she wants to make sure these kids don't act up too much. So she's looking back like this, and Will is right there. They're not seated next to each other like husband and wife.
Yeah, you notice they never make eye contact with each other like during the whole situation. So, I mean, my initial reaction, I thought it was like scripted, and I was like, hold up, like, is this for real? Like, or is it not for real? And, but then, like, I don't know, just off of knowing everything I know about, all of the celebrities and everything is like, this moment was bigger than everybody, right? So, like, to me, it had to be scripted because not only was, all like the woke black tribe was talking about like protect black women, things like that. But if you really look at this, that's not protecting black women. And it was a black woman for the first time in history produced the Oscars along with Will Packer. Both of them were produced, Shayla. Two black people producing the Oscars. There are other people who are winning. And so like the moment was bigger than Will and Jada. So for him, he's such a smart guy. Like I know he knows that. So it was like to make that moment about you and make the whole show about you and your wife, or your entangled wife, whatever's going on. It's still kind of like mind-boggling. Like it's just like it can't be real, right?
Yeah, it took the
to be such an A-list celebrity and know all the things he knows about like the efforts, and like they boycotted last year because it was too white, and now they made it way too black.
way too light. The ratings, by the way, for those who care about these things, were up 56%. But that was going to have an upward trend anyway, because this is a kind of a post-pandemic situation. You got the full audience there, so this is the first normal type of produced Oscars. But it's certainly drawn a lot of social media clicks. 56%.
Yeah. And now, like, I'm thinking of, like, protect black women. Like, what about, like, the black women who are for awards, who produce the show? And now, like, you think about, like, white people are gonna say, you know what? I don't think we should have black producers anymore. You know, I mean, but that they, in a way, everything kind of leans back on the people who put the show together, right? So unless Will Packard's coming out with, like, Bad Boys 4 and this is all like some big like stunt, like that would be genius marketing though. Like come out with like Bad Boys 8, like Chris Rock, Will Smith.
It's dangerous marketing because, you know, I remember CBS getting fined upwards to $1 million for Janet Jackson's titty out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a live event.
It's
so
worth it to do.
Yeah, so now you're talking about assault on TV and 2 F-bombs, but they did have the 5-second delay. You know, they have the dump button, the audio dump button. So that's why we didn't know what was happening in America. But thankfully for the Japanese feed, with Japanese people translating, not knowing what the hell was going on, they were saying, well, they were able to give us the full audio of everything that transpired. People are saying Tommy is missing the point. I feel like there's a number of points with this moment.
Oh, that's Avery. He always talking trash.
Ty, you want to get in here? What's your initial thoughts here? I know you said like you thought it was like a very Machiavellian situation, a quid pro quo of sorts. Like, hey, black folks need to cut the fool for a black man to receive an award with a label being king. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said initially. Remember we were talking about it? I said, ain't no way they're going to give an Oscar to a black man named King. And it feels like this incident evens it out a little bit. Like, and this is just me probably overthinking everything. And then I also said that we're forgetting that everyone is benefiting off of a black woman's pain, right? Because of the clicks, of the views, of, you know, the extra 56%, you know, that is happening when it comes to the extra attention that the Oscars is getting. I feel like there's something deeply rooted there for him to lose self-control like that. We talk about, you know, protecting his wife. But I feel like she could have also did some things to protect him as well. You know, as he got up, as he started walking up there, she could have been like, hey, where you going?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What you gonna do? Come back?
I did hear someone say too, is like
Something.
to protect black women. I think that's like a little overblown in this situation because that's also saying that she didn't have the power to protect herself in that moment against like words, which for, you know, you could construe that they were like positive or negative, you know, however people take the joke. Because as you, Shawn said, like G.I. Jane was actually a pretty like bold movie, like when didn't more cut her hair, it was a show of power or whatever. But you know, you can also take that negatively or whatever. So I mean, you can read the joke either way you want to, but at the end of the day, as a black woman, she's also strong enough and powerful enough, well spoken enough to like protect herself in that moment and the will to back her up. I mean, so it's like you're saying she's defenseless to like do anything for herself, which, you know, I think as a, you know, a strong black woman, she definitely is capable of that. So in that sense, I don't know. I don't think, you know, I definitely, yeah, and then the hit, I mean, that could have all been handled backstage after that as well, you know, like if you wanted, like, everybody, like, and then if he didn't respond properly, then you could have escalated whatever. But that was just, to me, it was just if it was real, again, I do wonder, like, what are your biggest conspiracy theories? I feel like that's there are a lot of conspiracies that could come out of this. Like, what are your biggest conspiracy theories about this whole incident?
I think it was the one I just explained.
Yeah, you came up with Zapruder
that's
film.
Will's payment. You know what I mean? It's always something, right? Like Halle Berry was getting raped. You know what I mean? Denzel was getting whipped.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It's like it's always something. It's always something, and I just can't not think of it. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that, Ty. I just don't see how those
I mean, not
strings
getting
can be
raped.
pulled.
She wasn't getting raped. I
Well,
take
yeah,
that
yeah,
back.
but
She wasn't getting raped
she was getting it from the ugliest white man in
by a
America.
white dude.
I remember
Denzel get whipped by a white dude.
I remember being a reporter in Durham, North Carolina, when Monsters Ball came
Mm-hmm.
out. That's the movie that Halle Berry won for. And I was involved with a media roundtable with a guy who was also an Academy voter, and David 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 Gordon Green, who now does work with Crazy Boys on gosh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing my stuff, but yeah, he's like he's a comedic director, whatever. And so we're all sitting around, we're talking and stuff, and they're talking about how great Halle Berry was, blah 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 blah, how great she was. And I said, only thing I see are a bunch of white guys. I actually said this, maybe that's why I didn't have a job later. All I see are a bunch of white men talking about how great she was because she was butt naked getting it from a white man.
I'm
There was
telling you,
nothing about
man.
that performance that says she needs a trophy.
Yeah,
And
man.
the liberal Oscar voters were all mealy mouthed and quiet. But
I
that
feel
that
like
also
I
go
feel
ahead.
like they are constantly doing that to appease both sides of the aisle. And I talk about that with Saturday Night Live a lot because it's always negative black stereotypes on Saturday Night Live that they try to make funny. You know what I mean? Um, and I just can't not think about it.
Yeah,
There is one thing that Will said at the end that I do kind of agree with, and I really, really felt him on that. And that's when he said, I think he said something to the likes like, he's at a point in his life where he feels like the universe is asking him to be the protector of the voiceless or something like that.
he also said he was a river of peace during that word salad of an apology or whatever
Hmm.
acceptance speech that was. You can't be a
Hmm.
river of peace if your first response, excuse me, your second response after
Yeah.
you laughed was to go up on stage, walk 50 paces, and smack a fellow black man in the mouth.
Yeah.
That ain't
And
no river of peace.
yeah. And then I also thought about the Charlemagne Birdman situation where Charlemagne was like, why you ain't go at him like that? Why you coming for what do you say? Why you coming for the reporter like that?
Yeah.
I'm just the reporter. Like Chris Rock is just a comedian. You know what I mean? Chris is doing his job.
The other thing I was thinking about was, people kept going back to protecting black women and everything, but like, what if, like, say he had a. So one thing I will say is like, feelings aren't facts,
Hmm.
right? So people have a right to feel a certain way about anything, but that doesn't make it fact or true. So I was like, what if like Will Smith's wife was white, and that whole situation happened? Would people have the exact same feelings that he was justified in like
You mean
smacking
would
another man?
black people
Yeah,
have
yeah,
those
specifically
same?
black people.
What if Chris Rock was white?
He ain't going up on that stage then. There ain't no way he's gonna go up on that stage with all the white men who's made him millions, and
Right.
he ain't smacking Jimmy
So
Kimmel.
when you were talking about like white privilege, I wasn't even thinking of it like that at all.
I was.
Um, because I feel like Will considers himself an equal, right? He's the highest selling, one of the highest selling dudes out there, right? So Will's probably not thinking like that. I feel like white privilege would have been him smacking a white dude. You know what I mean?
Well, I
That
think.
would, to me,
Well,
would be
the reason I say
considered
white
white
privilege is
privilege.
that you can go up there, smack a peer, refuse to leave when the Academy. That's the breaking news that we
But
had on tonight's show. Refuse to
but
leave
that
when the Academy asks you to leave,
mhm.
and stick around. They give you gold. They give you an award at the end, and you have all of the top people asking, "Are you okay?" And then you have people who love you, like your fans saying, "Hey, I can understand why he did such and such." People try to justify it. It's the same thing with like Trump voters, right?
Yeah,
Just because you like the guy doesn't mean that he ain't break no laws.
I
And black privilege, no, white privilege is that. Black privilege doesn't get an explanation. Black situation is not even privilege. Black circumstance doesn't get any explanations or condolences or a souring or sanding of the edges of the crime that you commit. The judge ain't trying to hear your story. White privilege, though, is like, hey, maybe we can couch this, nuance it, give him a fine. He gets to keep his trophy. He gets to stay. He has his moment. Blah blah blah.
I I looked at it more as like buck fighting.
Well,
you know,
the
that
other buck
wasn't
didn't fight no time.
staged. You're right. You're right.
The other
So
buck acted like Cary Grant. He put his hand
you're
behind
right.
his back and was like, "Oh, I'm stunned." I think Chris asked. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, Tommy. But if you look at it, I think Chris had another line that he was about to give as Will was walking off, and he decided not to give it because I think it would have inflamed it. I think he had a joke.
I felt like Chris was about to swing back.
Chris
but
has been working
himself.
out. Chris is in shape.
He stopped himself. He did ball his fist up. Like, what mother? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then he caught himself.
He's like, I ain't getting beat up like it was, and everybody hates Chris. Tell me your thoughts on this.
I mean, I think.
Get in here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I feel like, yeah, I mean, like people say, I think Chris handled the best he could in that situation because for several reasons. And then, you know, when Will was saying, like, keep my wife's name out your mouth, he's like, okay, I am. Like, if he had been, so I just think in that moment, if he had actually been saying that to be visceral or to like really have ill intent, he would like he would have quickly retorted with something else.
Yeah.
Like and fried them both up or whatever. But he was like, yeah, like no, it was just a joke. Like it wasn't in a mean spirit as well. Like so I think intent also has something to say with that. And his reaction I think indicated what his intent was.
True.
So yeah.
He's been dealing with hecklers for what, 30 years, right? He know how to respond to hecklers, you know.
Well, Tommy, if you were Chris, you just gave that joke. What are you doing after you just got slapped?
I mean,
what do you think you're doing? I know you can't.
I would have ducked, first of all. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a hard situation, like to say. And you guys have been in television as well, so like you're on TV and you have a job to do. You know, first of all, and so there's a lot of things that just because you're a professional, you're gonna like try to kind of stay in the moment, but then like you're also confused, like what just happened, right? And so like if that was me, I don't know what I would do, to be honest. Like I would have had to be in that moment, like. And again, I think for me, depending on what my like intent was, if I really hated them, and then like he come over and says, like, "Oh yeah, here we go," I'm already ready to fire back over everything, fist, words, all this stuff. But if like if my intent wasn't negative, which I don't think Chris was, I probably would maybe had a similar reaction, to be honest, because you're confused, like what's going on, and then you also kind of trying to keep things rolling, and yeah, it's a weird situation to be in front of. And you're also not trying to make the moment about you, right? Like it's about the award show. People like this is like the biggest moment in. Although I have my own feelings about the Oscars and things like that, but this is the biggest moment for like actors' lives right here, right? Like this is the
night,
Grail, right? Yes. You know, so that Ty, the internet got cut. He didn't pay his bill again. Golly. Those for your love checks.
And Ty's a tech guy, so
they're ready for love checks. Ain't hit yet, huh?
Will Packer put all his money into the Oscars production. Yeah, so guys, that's a disclaimer. Will Packer produced Ready to Love that Ty and I were on, and also he got his big moment as a producer. And by all accounts, he was given thumbs up for producing a very interesting Academy Awards show up until that point. I don't think this was scripted, though. I just don't see that. Well, all right, now you get on stage now, this point on, as a comedian. I know your humor is not flagrant. You're a funny man, but it's not flagrant. But do you feel the censorship or the raps on you as a comic now, wondering who's going to storm up here, thinking they got the right to storm up here?
You know, that actually hasn't really happened to me. Somebody says Will enforces the aggressive black man narrative in
front of a predominantly white audience, and he ain't ever been a vessel for anything like that.
Yeah. But to answer your question, actually, I did a show like 2 weeks ago, and a comic that was opening up for me. I was like headlining the show, and there was I think she was just drunk, but like it was a Trump supporter lady. And it was actually a white girl who was on stage, and like so the lady like she made some kind of Trump joke, and then she like the lady was ended up trying to walk on stage. Security had to like come grab her and pull her back or whatever. But yeah, that's actually never happened to me before. Like somebody trying to come on stage. But that's also how, like, you know, depending on what situation you're in, like that stuff can easily happen.
How have you and your fellow comics been talking about this?
Pretty much the same as everybody else. I think like a lot of people try to are using it, you know, as content. You know, project their thoughts. You know, put their ideas and stuff out there. Different jokes. So, which have been pretty funny. I don't know if I should say them, but
no, you can if you want. Go for it.
Nah, it's like a lot of the memes, or what do you call them, the memes that are popping up there. Yeah, it's been pretty funny about them. But I don't know. I think it's just like people taking like kind of one stance or the other. Some making it very political. Some see like the, you know, just the basic humanity in it. Some like see the funny parts in it. So it's interesting like to see how people are reacting to this moment in time, especially because it's like two of the biggest comedian, like one of the biggest actors out there. So I mean, there's a lot to kind of unpack there.
Amara says, hey Amara, when you decide to become a better version of yourself, that ego does not and will not go down without a fight. Some of the worst moments become benchmarks on the journey. And this is something that he sort of references to in his biography, which I have here. His biography, Will. And, you know, as you get stronger, you
feel got product placement.
Yeah, it's product placement for him. I don't know if it's going to work again, but yeah, so we got to at least get him to sell some books. But yeah, when you are getting stronger, your body gets weak at the same time too. I mean, you have to recover so those muscles build. That's the metaphor here. You're gonna backstep. You're gonna backslide a little bit. I don't know if this is a backsliding. I feel like maybe he's reflecting on a lot of things. The pandemic has been tough for him. Remember, he had weight issues, right? He didn't look like Will Smith. Remember, he had a weight challenge. Although I felt like that was a big work for him to like get more views. And then the August Alsina thing and the red table. I feel like no one should ever go to the red table. Ain't nothing good gonna come going to the red table. You know, but make it a blue table or something. But if it's a red table, ain't nothing good gonna come of that. I think we're gonna have Ty fly back in here. I think he's ready to come back in here now.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I think Will has been broken down by that relationship. Yeah, because like all things you said, like he's been they put him as the crying emojis. You know, he's gone through all kinds of stuff with his wife. Like so all this time, like they always said they weren't swingers, and then they said that publicly. I remember Oprah years ago, because there's so many rumors about him and Jada, and like it never really came out until the August Alsina thing, and like then he made the song with Rick Ross, so he like doubled down, and like all this attention was coming on them in a time where in the pandemic, like everybody had nothing to do but to like consume this media, right? So like they were the topic of the whole world at that point. So I think all this stuff just hit him. Like he's at home eating, you know, and yeah, like somebody said, he is a human. So I feel like he's been put through a lot of like stress or whatever. And then Jada probably home like talking trash to him, talking, "Hey, you ain't Tupac," and you know all this other stuff. And all this stuff definitely has an effect on him, no matter how motivational, all that kind of stuff they are. You know, somebody said they're not swingers; they just allow each other to have fun. Well, clearly they did not come back as a united front. So
their unity sucks.
Yeah, so
something's up with their unity to me. But
yeah, so I would say like all that stuff leads into him kind of like spiraling out of control a little bit. You know, I mean, in a way you can't blame him. Like how he handled it definitely should have been done better, and like shouldn't have happened that way. But man, that's a lot of stress to put on. You know. And then she made him come on YouTube and talk about it.
Yes, and
bro, like I was like, nah, nigga, I ain't coming. She talk about your
but that's the thing, Tommy. That's part of the buildup. He came on the show for her entanglement, and yet he come out looking like, what did he say? He said he felt like one of those wives of governors who had an affair, and he's just standing by his woman. He had no masculine salvo, no no jigginess with it, if we use his words. Like he came out of that as a meme, a crying meme. The Jordan meme was blended in with Will Smith. Meanwhile, she's like, yeah, I did that. And I did that with that young boy. But however, Will, we're here now. We're here. Why are we even here? Why are they even doing that on national TV? Why are they even there?
She made him like strut across the internet for her glory and get some more.
Across the internet.
I don't know. That has to break you down as a person, as a human.
You know, Derek Jackson did that too when he brought his wife out there, and you know, people didn't like him. I see a lot of women caping for Jada.
Well, they did it. They did like the IG Live. She brought him on a whole scripted show, or like not a scripted show, but a whole like produced. They had full cameras and everything in there, so he had to come sit at the table and with his daughter in the room, like.
Yeah.
What you mean? For the
wasn't Willow on there
table
too?
talk?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if she was there. I just remember Will and
so somebody said like, you know, they come back united front, but that's the whole thing. Will probably had his entanglements too, but they clearly weren't as messy as Jada's were, or Jada's was. So it's like how you handle it, and like all that stuff, I think, just leads to more and more strife, and you know, a person can only take but so much.
I think if you got anything that leads to that much strife, you got to untangle yourself from that entanglement.
Yeah.
But that's me. That's the simplest straight line. That's the through line that I got. Ty, you want to get in here? Welcome back, Ty.
Yeah. Thanks. I got disconnected. I just think it's so much. I think there's a lot that we won't even know. I mean, it could be acting, you know, could be real. It could be the conspiracy theories that I came up with earlier. And I think it's just, you know, kind of meant for us to have these type of discussions, right? There's plenty of friends that are for Will, and there's plenty of my friends that are against Will. And I think it's just the person, right? Most people who have self-control probably would have acted that way. And sometimes you could lose it. You know what I mean? You could have self-control and just be like, yo, that nigga was talking shit, therefore he need to get it. He need to catch these hands. You know what I mean? And times are different now. And maybe this is the precedent, you know, that you just gotta watch what you say when you're on that stage, even if you are telling jokes. And, you know, too bad it's going that way, you know, because you can't, you know, we're supposed to be able to separate jokes from real life. But it seems like, you know, if you take it too far, you can get them paws.
Did he take it that far?
I mean, it's not on him to decide, right? It's on the person that he's talking about. But in the end, it's assault. In the end, there should have been security.
Would y'all have pressed charges?
Huh?
I would have been petty. I would have pressed charges.
I almost feel like he should do that. You know, it does feel petty. You know, the streets may not like it, but I think about an old Jamie Foxx joke when he was talking about his run-in with LL Cool J during the filming of Any Given Sunday. And I'll just refresh people if you haven't heard it, but he's like, LL Cool J was like, we're a football team. He's like, hit me back, and hit me back. Let's get into it like we're football. And Jamie Foxx says, I'm an actor. Anyone hit me, they're going to be fired.
Yeah. Sherry, I did mention that. Sherry, I did mention that Jada saw Will get up and walk on stage, and she didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? She could have tugged at him. She could have grabbed him. She could have said something like, where you going? Sit down.
And they weren't sitting close enough for her to tug at him.
Babe, sit back down.
That's right. Because she was looking like a school mom on a school trip.
She could have been like, babe, sit back down. You know? It's all good. We'll get his ass later.
The question is, how do you go from, hey, that was a pretty humorous joke, ha, 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 to within 10 seconds, unmitigated, well, you can't say unmitigated rage, but he was smiling while he did it.
Because he saw how it affected his lady.
But he got out there quick, too.
He saw how it affected his lady.
No, but he never looked at it. I think he just had like all the grief that she put him through, all the strife, the turmoil. Because she brought him on the show on Red Table after she had the entanglement, after the world knew about it, and then told everybody how much she didn't like him. She didn't want to be in the same room with him at a certain point in the marriage, and he was talking about how he still loved her, and like he's like, yo, like he's doing all this stuff. I just think the dude just blew up because they never made eye contact at any point.
Yeah.
So this was all. I think he just trigger. He had that Kanye trigger. Just popped off.
Yeah.
Maybe
He's like, I know bitch ass Chris Rock ain't saying this shit in front of all these people.
He wouldn't know there were earthquakes though. Earthquake out there. He wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, I said that earlier. You know who you can run up on and who you can't. You know. But yeah.
Chris Rock. Okay, so I said we were going to do some updates. CNN has a little update here. Chris Rock made an emotional return to the stage Wednesday night for the first time since Will Smith slapped him. Let me be all misty and shit, Rock said, with tears in his eyes, gesturing to the crowd's warm response. How was your weekend? He quipped. How was your weekend? So the audience responded with laughter. I don't have a bunch of shit to say about that, so if you came here for that, he said, paused and then continued. I had written a whole show before this weekend. I'm still processing what happened. Let me stop. So at some point, I'll talk about
I like
that
that.
shit.
I like that.
At some point, I thought it was pretty good too.
Yeah,
At some point,
good.
I'll talk about this shit. It'll be serious. It'll be funny. But right now, I'm going to tell some jokes. And the comedian, currently on his ego death tour, then moved on with his show. So Rock is still processing, and he's writing. Tommy, you're the comedian here. You're writing. What do you think about that?
Oh man, I think it's all right. So a couple things. So like number one, he's prepping for like his big tour, which means you got tour. Which he's probably gonna do a special or whatever about it. So you have like a good amount of time that you want to do, right? And certain comedians, I think like Chris, they're more like structured. So he definitely has a say he wants to do because he has points he wants to make, right? So
absolutely, it's a dissertation.
Yeah, so now it's like, all right, with that, this time you may not even want to address, right? And now you got other stuff that you got to fit into like the time, because like you're on a concert tour or whatever. So a lot of times they charge you extra for going over time, right? So you just can't like freestyle it for like 2 or 3 hours, whatever. So now he has to like, all right, address. As a comedian, you have to address kind of what's going on, but you also have stuff that you want to get out and want to work through as like you progress through the tour, which usually culminates in like a taping. So you know, which has to be a tight 60 minutes, whatever it is. So now I think it does put a little wrench in it in a way, but it could depending on how it writes or whatever, definitely he can get some good material out of it. But at the same time, you have stuff that you definitely that you've been preparing for, that you want to get out, and now everybody's looking for something different than what you necessarily intended. So it's it could be a whole different show.
Does anyone know if his prices went up for the show?
Oh yeah, ticket prices went up. I want to say almost like 300, 400%. Tickets went as low as $47 up to $349. So that's way more than that percentage that I gave you on average. So it's a hot ticket. With that said, I think you're absolutely right, Tommy. And furthermore, I'm watching Talking Funny, where it was Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais got these guys together to talk about comedy. Rock is professorial. He wants to work out the material. He wants to polish it. He wants to go on tour with it on the off-beaten circuits. Just walk up on stage and try some stuff out. And I've seen Dave do that too. Chappelle's done that too. Just because Will Smith acted rash doesn't mean Rock has to. You know what I mean? Rock can do his thing. He can respond to this any way he wants to. And frankly, even after the tour that he has now, which parts of those dates are shared with Kevin Hart, he can do it after that and have his own insulated thing, because this will be a big deal at least until the next Oscars, right? So, I mean, shit, I still don't know if Moonlight won the Oscars. It was La La Land, wasn't it? Right? I mean, these infamous moments can last for a long time, and just because one man acted rashly doesn't mean another man doesn't have to think about his future and get back to work and deal with it the way he wants to, because in theory, although some people don't want to say it or believe it, he's a victim. He got assaulted while working on international television. 1 billion people. So take that as it will. And also there's been mentions of how the moment really did swallow up a lot of black folks' excellence, from Questlove, who's getting the award right after that, who had some words with Chris Rock as they walked off stage, to Sam Jackson getting the Governor's Award on Friday, the 2 nights before. Sam Jackson getting an award, to Shaq and Steph Curry getting an Academy Award for their film shorts. So we don't even talk about those guys.
Yeah, it's like the worst time to win an Oscar.
It was the worst time. Like that shit don't even.
And I think like Questlove's documentary was super pivotal, because it was a, I didn't even know about this story, but like back, I guess in the 60s, 70s, they had that big concert, and they documented, but like nobody would air the footage of all these great black singers performing or whatever. So this was like a huge moment for that, and to also just not only win that award, but also to continue telling that story, which I think still a lot of people don't even know about. And so that was overshadowed, right? And it was like a whole lot of stuff that was overlooked because of this moment.
You're talking about Summer of Soul, and Jay Brown. Go ahead, read what Jay Brown said.
Yeah, Jay was on there. Jay actually reminded me of something, of that joke where Dave Chappelle said, slapping somebody is like challenging them to a duel. Like somebody got to die. Now.
So we got to die now.
You know? Jay said
but now you got two brothers. You know, Chris took it for the race. I say that because had he exchanged blows, now you got two niggas fighting at the black Oscars. At the black produced Oscars. Now it's two niggas scrapping.
I think,
and we can't have that just because of one man's ridiculous aggression.
I think a physical response would have been justified, black or white.
It still would have been ugly.
I mean? It would have been justified.
It would have been the source of war.
So
we've had
like
rappers in the same room that ain't even shot up each other, who've said and done myriad things.
I would have taken Will to that red table and then made it a little extra red. Look at what
Woo! I see it. I see what you did there.
We had a real red table after that.
Let me do some radio stuff here. It's actually 11 past the hour. We're here with Tommy Taylor Jr., our good friend from our earlier joke game broadcast. That was like our second episode, I think. We're on episode 8. This is our last episode of this volume of the Shawn Show. I'm here with Tyrone Wingman. We're going to start a second volume later next month. But right now we're just chilling, and we're presented by Body Butter Bakery. Although, Kym, I know you're watching. She ain't got none of her products ready for you to buy. I'm just kidding. So she's got the oils. She just ain't got the labels for the men oils. So there's
like
men's oils.
You can probably moisturize your hands in case you want to slap anybody with body butter.
Body Butter Bakery. Get you some greased up hands. That'll make that slap real juicy, real good juicy slap. So we just read off Chris Rock's statement. He said he's still trying to process the situation to an audience in Boston that is filled to the gills. And he's like, I'm gonna have some shit to write. I'm gonna say some funny shit. I got some other stuff to process, but I'm still processing the whole thing right now. That's Chris Rock's statement. Wanda Sykes says she was sad for her friend. Nobody talking about Chris Rock. And Amy Schumer had a big long diatribe about the strike on her Instagram page. So that's where we are right now. And the Academy said they're doing an investigation. Yeah. Catch a body with some body butter. I like it, Jay. Talking about writing material when you have conflict in your life. Can you talk about that, Tommy? Because, do you take your personal life to the stage beyond couching it as some type of joke, or is it all about everything's material?
Yeah, I think comedy is based on truth. So, I mean, you definitely have to bring that in there. So I think for me, like a lot of personal stuff gets in there, and you try to find the meaning and points behind it. Things that really resonate with you, like whether it's dating, whatever's going on in your life, and try to bring that across to find that, and also find like that relatability, like what can people relate to about this or whatever.
Yeah, I think the personal stuff is always good, because if Richard Pryor could talk about himself smoking crack and catching on fire and make that shit hilarious, You know what I mean? Then what is off limits? You know?
Well, the thing about it is that Richard Pryor did that to himself. So that's
Yeah,
self-depreciation
yeah.
and self-immolation because he set himself on fire by accident.
But
Or
he know
was
the
it on
people wanted to
purpose? He
hear
was kind of
about it.
talking about
You
that.
know?
Yeah. And he had to
And,
take it to the stage.
and he talked
Yeah.
about his homosexual exploits because of the drugs.
When did Eddie talk about his homosexual? Oh, you said Andy. I think you said Eddie. I'm sorry. That was a Freudian
Yeah, I
slip.
don't think he
He
ever.
said Andy, not Eddie.
I don't think he denied that. I don't think he ever denied that, right?
No, he talked about it in his stand-up.
Yeah.
He just didn't put a stamp on it like Quincy Jones did in his biography. Now, that's a joker who told a lot of secrets. And if anyone would get slapped in public, it might be Quincy Jones. He just told a whole bunch of folks secrets that didn't want told.
What did he say?
Not only about the Richard Pryor was gay and this person was gay, he was outing people, talking about who used drugs, who used drugs all the time. He had some Michael Jackson stuff to say.
Allegedly, right? Allegedly.
No, he didn't say no allegedly. Quincy Jones was like,
No,
yo,
I'm saying
there.
allegedly.
I was there. Richard would be wanting to like get a man down and get between his legs. I'm like, Richard, don't you have a, you know, that's my Quincy Jones, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing about it's not just speech now. So, here's my thing about this whole thing. Say what you will about whether they had the right for this or that, or that was dirty, or it was her ailment. Your feelings about how you feel doesn't matter to the world. It doesn't. Everyone thinks that just because you may not have come to terms with something that you got going on, the world doesn't care. And the world ain't going to care. I don't think it is. I mean, just because you have these issues, that's why you have to deal with your issues, because the world doesn't care. And it ain't cared. So, okay, people are talking about your wife and you want to get this guy because he said something and made a comparison to a 90s movie with Viggo Mortensen and Demi Moore. Okay, deal with it a different way, but you can't just start laying hands on people just because you feel some type of way.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, feelings aren't facts.
Feelings are not facts.
Especially in like this cancel culture age where people always want to associate, and I think that's why it's hard for people to have a difference of opinion, right? Because like you disagree with somebody on a subject, even this, whether it's COVID, politics, like people like take their personal feelings and opinions, and like they will attack you because you don't agree with them. When you can have a difference of opinion and still like not be enemies. Like somebody came, I think on my what was it in my story? I said, can we admit that Jada's toxic? Yeah, and then so
I saw that one, by the way. Yeah,
somebody hit me, was like, yo, like blah blah blah. Was like, oh, you sound bitter, this and that. I'm like, no, like you don't have to agree. Like you could definitely disagree. Like for me, I just feel like, you know, all right, well, personally, just anybody like who's Will, whether it be Will or Jada, if you're having extramarital affairs, that's a toxic relationship to me. Like unless somebody else could think differently about that. So I think, or whatever, and that's fine. But like the fact that you can't disagree without attacking somebody or like trying to belittle somebody, I think, you know, it's a whole thing, because I think people don't, they're tying their feelings and facts together. Where like feelings aren't facts. So I think you make a great point right there.
Yeah, and people can care about your feelings. What I'm saying is society does not stop because you feel down or you feel insecure about something. Those are things you have to tighten up before, you know, you want to lash out at everybody else for making their observations about your shit. It is what it is.
True. I think if it was a little bit different, like if it was a racial joke, Chris Rock was white, then the world would have cared. You know what I mean? So it kind of depends. If you dig deeper into the joke, Demi Moore did end up leaving her husband for a younger dude.
Well, now that's extra deep. I'm pretty sure Will did not have IMDb pulled up. So he had G.I. Jane.
It was actually a really good ass joke. It was a good. If you really gonna dig deep into it, you know what I mean.
And Rock could do that. Rock could do that.
Because Ashton Kutcher ended up keeping the wife for quite some time.
Yes, he did.
But they also were a good blended family. So I think they all
Yeah.
did like Christmas and birthdays and stuff together.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
weird, but you know, but that you make a good point right there.
So we're at 9:18. I'm going to run this this formal part of the Shawn Show till 9:30. We'll wrap it up with Shawn Says, and we'll hang out for overtime. And Tommy, you're welcome to hang out for overtime for a little bit. I know you got a busy schedule, and we could bring some other folks on, but let's mark it in by 11 minutes. We'll wrap up this this volume of 8 episodes of the Shawn Show. And I do have something in my Shawn Says about someone mentioned. I think it was SMI Les are good mentioned about y'all wanted people to care about your feelings on Ready to Love. I do have something that's tied into Shawn Says that wraps up this whole thing as well. So you ain't putting nothing over me, and it's off the top of the dome because I ain't had no sleep. How's it when you come from vacation you more tired than you were? That was a good vacation. Anyway.
And women twerking next to cigars.
Women twerking next to me, and I sure ain't studying on. I'm trying to smoke this damn cigar. Like, if y'all don't get y'all asses literally.
He gave him the Jada look. He wasn't even paying no attention. He was looking like Jada.
Yeah, I gave him that. Well, are you going to do something? And she did that psionic mind thing. No.
Who's going to be the first rapper to put it in one of their bars?
Oh, Nas is going to mention it pensively because he's
Drake will.
Drake
will say it without saying it because, he ain't trying to go there.
I feel like Jada Kiss might do something.
I think he has to.
Yeah.
At this point.
Well,
without saying it,
Kanye would do something, but Kanye's gonna have his own moment soon. The way he's trending, and
I think Tupac gonna come back from the dead
and claim Jada and said he was never for you, he was for me. I would have slapped Chris Rock thoroughly. I don't know if I was alive. Pac, the shadow of Pac is over this whole thing, and I personally, so it's been an hour and a half. We're talking about people publicly, but I feel that's because they totally made so much of their lives public. Why is there a red table anyway?
Huh?
Why is there a red table?
That's Jada's. What you mean?
Why is there a red table?
Ask it introspective questions. Why is the table?
Why is the table?
Right. What is the
table?
What is a table? Do we just keep asking questions until we? No, I feel like she may have needed something to do. You know what I mean? Get her mom involved. Talk about stuff to bring discussion. I don't know.
Hey, look, Leslie, I'm in this red chair because I paid for it, damn it.
Right.
It ain't programming.
Why is there a Shawn Show?
Yo, that's if I was Chris Rock, that's what I would name my next album. Be like the red table jokes or something like that. I would bring it back. That's because I'm petty, but
he's gonna have to. That's his plan.
I would come for everybody. I'll make this album about Jaden wearing a Batman suit. I'll come for the whole family.
Wow. What if he just never says Jada, but says my wife's name? What if he just?
I would call. What was her name on a different world?
The annoying girl on Different World. That wasn't her name. What was her name? She was always trying to protest.
That's
saying sister like this, just show all of her lower teeth. Sister.
Lena James. That's what it was.
Was it Lena?
Yeah.
Look, sister. It's a different world. Anyway, this is deteriorating. All right. I've exhausted this topic. Tommy, talk about yourself real quick before we get on with other things. What you got going on? I know you still you have Almost Ladies Night. I missed the last one. I got to get there for the next one. When's the next Almost Ladies Night here in DC?
The next one here in the city will be May 20th. So make sure you get your ticket. Might be a double header. I think we might do a back-to-back show that night because they've been doing really well. Yeah, so check out almostladiesnight.com or check me out, Tommy Taylor Jr. Amazing show. Before the show, it's a whole extravaganza. We have a massage company that comes out before the comedy show, gives complimentary massages. We got like a MC walking. It's a whole thing. It's a whole vibe. So come check us out. And some of the most beautiful people in the city always attend. Celebrities coming through. It's a good time. So Almost Ladies Night, and then I have a bunch of shows around the city. I think this week and next week. And check out Jordan Rock. He's gonna be at the DC Improv this weekend. That's my man. And yeah, we got good things, some TV project stuff coming out. So
have you
on the grind.
We're not exploiting your relationship professionally, but have you talked any with the Rock family?
No, actually, not really. Not about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not about this. Gotcha. Cool. Ty, you got anything to add? And also follow Tommy at TommyTaylorJr.com and at Tommy Taylor Jr. On IG. You got anything to add to this, Ty? While we wrapping up this edition of the Shawn Show?
Nah, nothing much. Just come through on Instagram, come through on YouTube. I'm back on my cybersecurity grind, and I'm took a break, but we're gonna start the mental health journey shows again, starting with myself this weekend. So should be fun.
And mental health is serious business. Like a lot of people have echoed those things when talking about Will Smith or whatever. I think they've done it haphazardly. I'm not mocking anything of his state of mind. I don't know it. I don't think anyone's clinically eligible to do that unless you talk to him personally. We've read books, we've read stories, we know what he's said. It's just a matter that we can't always act like we want to act. You know, you can't, like parents would tell you, you can't stomp your feet, you can't slam doors everywhere. You gotta find a way to channel that and control it, and then push forward and deal with it another way. All right. With that said, I'd like to thank my guest, Tommy Taylor Jr. I'd like to thank Tyrone, as usual, my wingman. I'd like to thank Dr. Ira Davis for explaining the ish on inflation. And I'd like to thank Kym, as usual, for making this possible, this first volume of the Shawn Show, presented by BodyButterBakery.com. And now we're going to wrap this up with Shawn Says, and it's just me talking a few things. So if you fellas don't mind either muting or what have you, just sitting still for a few minutes. I'm just going to wrap. We started this about 8 weeks ago. We did 8 shows straight. 9 weeks ago, really. There was just a couple of lives. And then we just started formatting, and the whole concept of the show was me, with all my life experiences and my works, digging into my phone and finding people who've done awesome things, big and small, who have experiences that will be relevant to you all. This is what I'm interested in. It's not the red table. This is the Shawn Show, and I appreciate you all for at least supporting us and checking in on us and buying my sponsor's product, because it's good product and that shows that we're effective and that you've been listening to us. And I didn't know that people, the funny thing about celebrity, even if you ain't got much of it, other people are fascinated with it. I go to Tampa, Florida, and in every black group I'm made. Well, no, I always get joked. I know Ty has joked on me about this, like people still think you from Ray Love. No, this is still true. This is black fame when you ain't getting paid for the results, but black people know who you are, either through Scuttlebutt or whatever you've been watching. And from Ready to Love, for my 3 episodes, people recognize me from Ready to Love. Sit down, smoke a cigar. A woman is literally falling over herself trying to talk to me. I ain't got no fame. I ain't got no juice. Other women, a woman who met me wanted to set up a happy hour with all her friends just so we could just hang out. I don't even run the show. But here's the thing about fame and either that teaspoon of celebrity that I got. It could be the 14th minute. And other people have more fame than me. This whole Will Smith and Jada Pinkett thing got me thinking, what are you famous for? Because, we on a dating show, it could be fleeting fame unless you try to extend it if you don't think you have anything else to offer. Sure, the red table is now something that is offerable. Now, it is helping people heal. There'll be some juicy conversations, some real poignant things that are said. I've even watched an episode or two. My sisters have made me watch a couple of things. It's very appreciative. But there seems to be something else when some people who don't have blockbuster deals, when they don't have albums, when they don't have stars on the Walk of Fame, when that is your partner, sometimes maybe some people are trying to extend and highlight themselves. And how they do it, how I've seen some people that I even know from my cast and or other people's cast, they want to continue to give you what they can, the only thing that they can, and it's content about them. And now we're all here talking about Will Smith and Jada and their kids, but that's because they've told us so much, haven't they? Denzel and his wife and Sam and his wife, we don't know anything about them, do we? Because they're okay with their stations in their lives. They're okay with, okay, you may make a lot of money here, but I do my own thing. I'll be on this Law and Order episode. I don't feel like other relationships are trying to compete to the point where I'm going to tell you every detail and morsel. And I feel like one party is dragging the other party to make their lives so freaking public. It's the Kardashianization of the world, where you have to keep yourself going, or you think you make yourself viable by letting us know every damn thing about you. This is from a man who I'm very guarded about what I share. You see my apartment, you saw my sister, you've seen pictures of my family, you've seen me on a reality show, but you don't know anything about me. You can be public and still be private. But it's when you decide to make your private life your public proposition is when you get other people in your mess. And we get other people in your mess, now you feel like you're in the fishbowl. Especially if one of you may not be so good at dealing with that type of fishbowl. When one of you write 500-page books about the pain and trauma that you've already endured, and yet you have to publicly go to these red table talks and not show agency, but show contrition as if you were the one who brought on the humiliations. That's what happens when you lead your private life for everyone to see. Because I was on a little talk show, I was on a little dating show for 3 episodes that was watched at one point by 2 million people. The Academy Awards is estimated to be watched by 1.3 billion people worldwide. And now you're in a different type of entanglement because the whole world saw you at your lowest and your highest point, all within an hour of each other. That's Shawn Says. And I say sooner or later, we all have to say, so, and keep it moving. That concludes the talk. That concludes the show. This is the cut point. Now we're in Shawn Overtime. I'm going to pour me a drink. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, if Ty is willing, maybe 3. And we're going to talk our stuff. I'm still around on IG, of course. But that's it. We're in overtime. Let's chat it up. If anybody want to talk about anything, give me your ideas and your thoughts, and that's it.
Yo, I'm back on my health grind. I might make it official, but I'm thinking about starting a health challenge for all of April.
All April. What's your health challenge?
I'm thinking 100 miles in April. Just get 100 miles.
Like 100 miles of walking?
For the month. 100 miles. So it could be 100 miles of anything.
Like Uber Eats?
Because I might post my stats from last April, but I did 5 miles every day for the entire month of April. So it's 15,000 steps a day, every day. Yeah. I ain't gonna say no alcohol. But the other thing is I bought a truck. I bought a truck today. So I had my first ride today. So
You bought a what?
I'm a little bit excited, huh?
You got a bike?
You bought a what?
Yeah, a Trek, a bike.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know I'm a biking fool, so.
I didn't know that. But
anytime you want to go, let's go.
All right. You got a road bike, hybrid?
That's that white people money right there. That Trek. Hey, okay, Ty. I see you, bro.
I got like a Schwinn, a big sporty Schwinn. It's a road bike, but it's also got, it's sort of like a hybrid. It's kind of like
mine's is it straight handlebars?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's straight flat.
Yeah, I used to have the cycling to the front handlebars and shit. I
Okay,
used to. I'll tell you this. Like during the pandemic, I got into biking. I was up to 200 miles a week.
So the goal is a centennial.
What?
In
100
one ride.
miles, one trip?
That's the goal.
I don't know about that, Ty. As I go grab this damn Seagram's
Yeah,
behind
we
me.
go ride out to Percival and come back.
All right. So we go right out to Percival, call an Uber,
and come back. That's it. That's 50 miles.
I'm gonna make a drink. Ty, you got the calm. I can hear you guys.
Huh?
That's what's the longest you've ridden this far or so far?
How many?
Yeah, how many miles
5.
have you ridden in a single?
Oh, I did 17 once, but it was an old mountain bike. Like it was, I would not ride that thing again. You know what I mean? Okay. But yeah, today was my first day. I had to get those miles in.
Get the miles up, G.
So the other thing is, like on my YouTube channel, I do a lot of mental challenges. So, you know, you may see me do the cold showers. You know, it's in my profile too. So I do the cold showers. I do
Wait a minute, what's the point of the cold shower?
I do the physical challenges. So the cold showers is a mental challenge. Plus the cold also helps you heal. You know, it helps boost your immune system. So after every shower, the last 2 minutes of your shower should be cold water.
Now, what y'all should do is y'all should do the Shawn show from an ice bucket.
I would do that.
See who lasts longest.
That would be the
Nina
white
wants
Shawn
to know
show.
why men cheat. I have explained over and over and over why men cheat.
Why men cheat?
Oh yeah, Jada,
We've done 9
we do
shows,
have a
Ty, and
Sakeno
people ask
prep
that
class.
question.
Yeah, people ask all the time. Men cheat because the thrill of the hunt outweighs the loss of losing the girl.
Well, black men don't cheat, but you talking about for the others, for the other persuasions out there.
Yeah, but yeah, the cold water. Who said it really well? The cold immersion is really, really good for you.
Have y'all done the cryo chamber?
Nope. Another thing is getting into meditation. So I started getting into it's called transcendental meditation. So even if it's just 20 minutes a day, it really helps clear the mind.
Leslie says she'll be laughing at us while she's on the greens. Leslie, I gotta get on the greens with you at that time.
I'm trying not to give away too much content for what I'm gonna talk about this Saturday. Basically, the topic this Saturday is gonna be how I addressed anxiety and PTSD. Beat it. Have I ever cheated in my life? Yes, I have.
Only on his diet, though. That's it.
I have. I was deployed twice. The first time I wasn't so good. The second time I was really good. So yes, I have.
Sherry says the challenge should be to do a good deed, by the way, Ty, every day during the month of April for someone.
I think you're doing that anyway, right?
I feel like I've been doing that. And
yeah,
Sherry's a good woman. So she means that, and she's Canadian.
Yeah. I'm Ty Wilson 21 on YouTube. Yeah.
I don't give away all your content now.
No, on the back end, I recently agreed to do a segment with Kamisha.
Oh boy. When are you doing that?
I think it's gonna be this Saturday maybe. Just real quick.
There's no such thing as real quick on these things. You see, we still on.
Real quick. If it's Friday, I'm doing a CTF all day Friday. Saturday, I have my meetup, and I'm gonna be on my own segment, so it's gonna be 2 busy days. So we'll see.
Nice.
Not all military men cheat. Uniquely Sherry.
Saturday's Final Four, so I got an event early the day. I got speed dating, and then I have Final Four. But I just care about that Duke Carolina game.
Why?
I hope Duke loses.
So
Can't
for
stand
all
Duke.
y'all asking us the questions, you got to be willing to answer the question if you're going to ask the question.
Oh, by the way, while they're trying to figure out the question, so it is finally up. I'll put the link on tomorrow on my page. We're doing speed dating next Saturday. Kitchen Cray, Virginia. It's happening. We ready to go. Black speed dating. Black little speed dating.
I can come and help you.
You can come
score.
and move chairs around, Ty. I don't know what else you can do. You can move some shit around.
I could be your co-host or something.
What about you, Tommy? You want to do speed dating?
That might be something to do.
Anybody rich and over 6'3"? Yeah. Don't even give me the line. No, everybody's broke, Toy. Sorry. Don't even give me the line. Someone said you be the hype man.
Yeah.
Get in there, tell some jokes. We're tweaking formats. It's not just traditional speed dating. So, hopefully, I will have some sponsored packages when I return in 2 weeks. I promise. I've been promising that since the beginning of this year, but I will have sponsored. And we'll do promotion of this thing and work on getting a better format because. How do you score, Ty? What is
Oh, man. Somebody said we need somebody. I'm 6'3". We got money over here, bro. We got.
that movie money? What's going on?
Yeah.
What's up, ladies?
Yo, why that look like strip club money, man?
Why does that shit look like property of Parker Brothers? What's the age range of speed dating? Probably about 30 to 45 or 50. 30 to 50. Yeah, but I gotta ask. So, I wasn't actually looking at comments that time when I was reading it. Well, I was saying it. I guess exhaustion pushes stuff out of you, though. But what did y'all think about what I said with Shawn Says? That last one, if y'all were listening.
That sounded pretty profound. You practice that, or that came off the dome?
That came off the dome. I thought about it, but it came off the dome.
That was not too. No, that was actually pretty good. That was pretty insightful. Made some quality points there.
Thank you. We have notoriety and it's fleeting. These people have fame. Those are two different things, but people treat it as the same thing either way. So, people can become craving for it. You give them something, they want some more because they want ownership of you. Even if you ain't even all that, I don't think I'm all that.
Well, I think part of what you're saying though comes into like it's a new era now. How you're so. I was actually reading something a couple of weeks ago, but basically how we have like the metaverse, like the internet world, which is which are facts in its own place, but then you have like in real life. But now, I think everything is so digital that you actually have, you can live, two different lives, basically. So, and how people see you is what their perception is. The only way people see you is through, a digital means, television, through social media, which is media nowadays, because even television stations are using social media, all this other stuff. That becomes the reality. So, whether the fame or notoriety, because back in the day, even as an actor or whatever, people say, well, you're this guy's an Instagram person or whatever, which had a negative connotation, you want to be a TV person. But now it's flipped. We're like, okay, you're an Instagram star, that means you're a star, right? And you're gonna get brands and companies come to you. So I think that correlation between you know, what's a reality on social media,
Mhm.
and like the notoriety of fame.
Mhm.
You know, it can be construed on in different platforms as well. But I think what you're saying about like how the access to yourself,
Mhm.
how much you give, I think is important. You know,
Yeah.
and it could be
Well,
investment. You know, because like,
Yeah.
and as you know, like even doing your shows and things like that on social media, you're giving part of yourself, right? You're giving your time, like your
Mhm.
thoughts, your like part of you to the public, whoever's watching you, and then at the same time, it becomes a strain because you have to produce because people want to consume more.
Yeah.
Depending, no matter what it is, they want to consume more, and then so you have to give
Mhm.
more, and that becomes a. It definitely, I think, even that battles your mental health, right?
Yeah.
yes.
So to touch on that a little bit, um, you know, a lot of people say that they want the fame and that they want the extra attention, but a lot of people can't handle getting it, right? They can't accept it
Yes.
when it happens. Um, so I'd say about a year and a half ago, you know, I was pretty hot in those cyber streets. And you know, I was getting a lot of attention speaking at conferences and stuff. Especially like in cybersecurity, like you have cybersecurity, but then you actually have like a black tech Twitter, right? And you have black Twitter, and in cybersecurity as a whole, like I was pretty up there. But for like black tech, like I'm kind of like really, really up there. And I didn't want to accept that, you know, being humble. And it was really, really getting to me. So I was overthinking every tweet, every Instagram post, you know what I mean? And it was to a point to where I couldn't be myself because I thought I was going to be judged by every little thing that I say, and I couldn't. Nothing was going to come out natural. So I used to have these talks, and you know, one of my friends was basically told me, and this was before the show. He was like, you know, your rocket ship to success has already taken off. You just have to accept it. And I really just couldn't accept it. And I felt like, you know, I felt like one of those celebrities who don't need security, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You ever hear Kevin Hart tell that joke about ain't nobody trying to come at me? You know, I ain't up there. So that's how I felt, you know, for the longest time. And then, you know, eventually you just have to accept that you have accomplished some things in your life
Yeah.
and people want to see you. You know what I mean? And they want to see more. Um, but over time, what I've learned is, you know, if the people are going to support you, they're going to support you. I would much rather have, you know, a little bit of people who want to see me do well than, you know, millions of people who was just waiting to see me fail, you know? And the approach that I'm doing now is just it's just going to be at my own pace, you know? And if information gets put out, you get to see the information. You know what I mean? And I mean, if it's decided that it ain't gonna come out, then it ain't gonna come out. But in the end, the people who support me will support me,
Yeah.
and I appreciate them for that.
Yeah, I always tell people that, you know, you got to do it for
Mhm.
yourself. Like, make it
Yeah.
for you, because even on social media, like no matter who it is, you have to kind of do it for you. Because if you're not, like, you're
Hmm.
gonna keep trying like to feed into what everybody else wants. And you try to give more and more. Because
Hmm.
even on the comedy side, you see people just, you know, throw out content and they're trying to like create stuff and create just to, you know, fulfill other people. But then it's you
Hmm.
know, they get burned out or drained out. Because even on myself, when I was doing when I started out, I did like my sketch comedy show, and we
Hmm.
actually had millions of followers. Like, I got deals with
Them shits is
Verizon.
funny as hell, man.
Oh, thank you.
No, he's
Yeah, them
really
shits
good.
is
He's
funny as
really good.
hell.
Yeah, I got all kind of like deals with like major Verizon or on the mobile phones and a whole bunch of
Hmm.
different things. But uh, yeah, even with that, like I really, it was something I wanted to do, and then like I took a break
Hmm.
because actually even doing that for me it got draining, right? And like
Hmm.
then you're trying to deal with networks and different things, so I kind of took a pause from it. But yeah, it's definitely a big effort, you know. And but I also think
Hmm.
you do have to do it for because whatever you like, you want to do your mental health. challenges, your fitness challenges. I mean, that's something that you enjoy doing. You also have to do something you enjoy. Because I know we've also seen people, and I know people who post so many things and like it looks like they're doing so many great things, and I know it's not even real. Because as you know, in entertainment, a lot of times you do stuff like even stuff I do, which I make a lot of money for, nobody may see. Like I'm in the Globe on the Toyota commercial. I get checks every time that comes on, but nobody knows it's me in there. And so, but there's stuff I've done like this very well known, or like people see it, and I may just made a little bit of money or a couple $100 off that or whatever the one time. You know, so it's like, you know, you kind of have to fit the part a lot of times, but you know, also that's what I say, do it for you and like make yourself happy in the things you do, because you know, no matter what that is.
And you brothers both are on something that sort of led me to the Shawn Says that I said. For those who want to see it, I'm going to have it available again on IG later tonight. The full thing, including this overtime. The edited versions of all this will be available on YouTube tomorrow, and I'll just break out the Shawn Says itself if you just want to watch that on my YouTube channel. With that said, what I had going on was like, all right, I want to go to this cigar week down in Tampa. All right, cool. Did some stuff. Homeboys that I was hanging with, they were cool to hang with because they're great friends of mine. I learned a lot. But it's also like, I ain't been here in a while. I want to do some other things. So I'm going to extend my vacation. You know, I'm going to spend a little bit of money, change the plane ticket, get me another hotel room and all that stuff, get me a car, and do something for me. But then I was still feeling the pressure like, I usually do my show on Tuesday. And I wanted to do my show on Tuesday. I was thinking, well, I'll do the show from my vacation. No, I'm not doing my show from the damn hotel room on Tuesday night. And no, I'm not doing that. It's amazing. What my point is, it's amazing. Like when you get into a little bit of teaspoon of notoriety, how you become slave to the people who are genuine. They may be genuinely just trying to support you and they're interested in what you're doing, but you don't make your life your own. And I think what some people are starting to find with me and with you as well, Ty, we're finding our stride in this new level of being noticed a little bit more, which may fade or may grow depending on what we do in our future endeavors. But, and Tommy, you can certainly speak to this, you got to live your life for yourself in all aspects. And, you know, share what you want to share and share what you're feeling good about sharing. But I was finding myself being a slave to this thing that I only had a rhythm of going for 2 months. We did this in February. I think we got on a live chat, and Ty was like, "Shit, I'll get on with you." And that wasn't even. It was basically what it was, right, Ty?
No, yeah.
I'm like, hey, because Ty would do some shit. He was like, "Hey, I'll do something." I'm like, "Shit, well, I'll do something." And we're like, "All right, I'll jump on with you." And then sooner or later, it was like, "All right, episode 0."
Yeah. Yo, no lie. My sister was like, Ty, don't get on no lives. She was like, it's okay to get on the panel, to be a guest on the panel. But even she was like, I don't think, you know, you should do one when you're the host. Because one, you're too nice. You don't know how to cut people off. You don't even know how to end the show. Do you know what I mean? If people gonna keep talking, you would just let them keep talking. And then I actually found something that interests me that I can speak to over and over and over again, which was the mental health thing.
Yep.
And then that started taking off. And then she was like, you should keep going with this mental health. As a matter of fact, she ended up being a guest on my show. So
Did you cut her off?
so
it's funny. At least you're probably watching
how,
now.
It works. And once you find something that moves you, you know, I think that's what you should go for. I actually wrote an article about that. Identifying your dream job. Find something you love, something you're really good at, and something that the world needs. So if you love it, your passion for it's going to shine through. If you're good at it, it's going to come easy to you. And if the world needs it, then there'll be demand for it. So whatever that is, whatever the combination of those 3 things is, that's what you should do.
Like, look at Kym, Ty. Kym was a cosmetologist in Tallahassee, and she started making body butter for her friends and family. People were like, "Girl, this is good," and she's like, "Okay." And she's, before you knew it, in October, she's like, "I'm not selling. I'm just gonna keep doing this." And now she has a company. She has
tens of thousands of followers on her thing. She's sponsoring a national IG show. And you do what you fall
national
into.
show.
That's national.
International.
That's right. International. You can watch me get slapped international too, like Chris Rock. Hey, Reese Buttercup, how you doing, baby? So it's just like I'm not bagging any of you all or any fandom or anybody who like follows us, me, Tommy, or Ty, or anybody else. What I'm saying is, if you do have a teaspoon, it's not anyone getting a big head, but if you have a teaspoon of notoriety, you do feel a fishbowl type of sensation. Like when do I move? How do I move? How do I have my life as my own? And the only way to do that is to just make your life your own and think about y'all later. You can still have those things available. There's still things you need to do. I need to have some pictures here. I need to make a post here or there. But depending on where you're trying to take your life, anything you do in your life, this is your life. You don't owe it to anybody else. And so going back to what I said at the end of the show, I feel Will Smith is a man who's been trying to sort his life out for the 50 plus years he's been on this earth. But he has a partner who, for better or for worse, she says, hey, we could also help people or make hay out of divulging our business inside out the world to how we do things. So he never feels like he has a private moment because people know him for embarrassing moments that are domestic. Whereas she pushes those domestic moments in other things, rightfully, and highlights them to help other people. And so now you have loggerheads. That's what I feel. But that's my observation. Who knows? But they let us in on so much of their shit. We all are entitled to an opinion on Will and Jada because of that.
Well, I think they did. Actually, I think they did a pretty good job of keeping it discreet, or keeping it surface until like recently. Because I mean, they weren't the Kardashians. Where like every little bit about their lives are for public consumption. But
yeah, they didn't have a production crew every day, or like a whole production schedule.
At least early on, but like that's the last couple of years, it's gotten a little bit more extreme.
Feels like it's gotten away from them a little bit. A little bit. Ty guys, make sure it's not pinned because I have to keep my sponsor up there, but at least for another hour. Ty has posted, go scroll up, the article that he wrote on LinkedIn, Identifying Your Dream Job by Ty Wilson. I didn't know Ty was a writer.
More of a talker. I always make this joke. I said, but I spell it wrong. I say I could proofread better than I write, but I spell proofread Prufreed.
That should be a T-shirt.
Yeah, I could proofread better than I write.
That's a T-shirt.
I would much rather talk than try to write.
You ever thought about doing T-shirt jokes?
I thought about it. I thought about writing. I thought about having my book being me just doing a voice to text and then edit it with Grammarly.
And
I think that's how I would do my book. I think I would just have some drinks. Chapter 1, Marathon, Florida, and then just do a voice to text.
Well, when I do write, I have to. I don't do anything audible. It has to be a muscular form. It has to be percussive. So I have to pound it out, read it, and hear it that way. I can't talk what I write, although what I write sounds like how I talk. So it's a very weird thing. But I need the muscularity of pounding things out on keys and writing them out for me to feel like I'm.
I don't like my writing. I feel like it's a lot of passive voice. I feel like it's a little bit ghetto. You know what I mean? I just don't like it at all.
But you're a proper ghetto man, though. You're a distinguished ghetto gent.
It's funny you say that. You should ask my cousins how they feel about that in Florida.
Are they from New Edition? Because you're from Massachusetts, right? Are your cousins?
No, they actually tell me, like, if we go out in public, let's just say like to a local corner store or whatever, they would tell me not to talk. They'd be like, they're gonna probably jump you because it's real out there in them streets. You know, them cats be hungry for a
They
come
gonna
up.
jump you because you know
They be hungry for a come up, man. For real.
Tommy,
So
what time you had fear of being jumped, Tommy?
they told, my cousin says, so I went to the store. I was going to go pay for a bag of chips. And my cousin said, don't pull your money out like that. Pull your money out like you got crumpled up ones and you just kind of struggling to get those ones out. Because if your money looks too clean, if it look like a stack, they're going to get you.
Somebody say he got proper money. People $1, 101.
Hey, Tommy,
Yeah.
here's a farthing and a shilling to you, sir. Now commence feeding me.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. So I'm from
I have
the Florida
10
Keys,
pence
right?
and 4 quarters here.
90% of my family lives in Miami, not South Beach, Miami, but another 48 Miami, not Overtown, but another 48 Miami. Anywhere by the flea market, all that stuff. That's what I mean. The funerals, they wear T-shirts. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody wearing no suit to the funeral, right? Dickies, T-shirts, matching sneakers.
You know,
the color of the weave match the hair,
I feel like
right?
they're gonna get jumped every 3 weeks.
So,
Crew gonna get.
but we lived in Massachusetts. So in Massachusetts, they would make fun of us for having a Southern accent. So we got to learn to switch it up so we don't get beat up because we was like the only black kids in the neighborhood. And then when we go back, see, Mike knows, Homestead, Florida City. So when we go back every summer, we got to remember to turn it back on, or else, you know, the cousins get us for talking proper.
Y'all should have been smacking white people.
There's a lot of it. We was outnumbered, man. We was outnumbered.
The 305.
So, yeah.
Luther Campbell. Tommy, what are you in the script writing business? Are you trying to write a script or anything?
Yeah. I actually write a bunch of stuff. And I'm working on a sitcom now. I've been pieced together a lot of things. But yeah, and I have a short film that I recently wrote. But yeah, as a comedian, you're always writing something. So some ideas just like, I think I'm actually better naturally, like showing a joke, I think. So that comes to me very naturally. So, and now it's funny that I do stand up because I really don't like talking.
What?
I'm not like a big talker, so I think when my conception of like stand-up comedians, like people just enjoy talking all the time. And actually, that's like most of the time I'm just pretty chill. You know, but when I have something to say, I'll say it. But yeah, but I actually like showing jokes. So I think like writing script for TV, film, and all that kind of stuff comes a little easier for me than I guess stage.
Yo, let me ask you a question, Tommy, because I know you have some say on who the female leads is going to be. Are you a little bit biased? Like, she got to be fine in your opinion, or do she just got to be talented?
Hold on, for what? For my scripts?
I got an opinion on this, but I want to hear Tommy first.
Female lead. It depends on the part. Always talent first. For me, it's like talent is. I'm attracted to talent anyways. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Because I've seen the ladies in the. I've seen some of the ladies, man.
What ladies?
No, I've seen us. I'm talking about in the clips from back in the day.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Tommy girls. Oh yeah. But they were actually all of them very talented. Some actually are in Hollywood doing some big things now as well.
So they just happen to be attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we actually had an extensive auditioning process, and but no, they were actually all of them like super, like funny, super talented. And actually a lot of different like skills. Some like modeled. That was one of my thing. The reason why I created Tommy Girls was because I had I had a few friends who were like just super talented, like beautiful, other kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, I need like an outlet or whatever. And I was like, so my show, I was like, it was homage to the like Fly Girls, but they actually acted and did stuff in the show. So
Yo, Tommy, I actually auditioned for one of your gigs back in the day, years ago, but I think I was actually too blue in my improv because you don't go blue, right? But yeah, I remember that. It's like a flood of memories. Like it's like years ago. That's why it was funny when we worked. When was that? When did we do that barber commercial for that health insurance company? Was that November?
Yeah, that's a couple of months ago. Yeah, something like that.
A couple of months ago. Yeah, I was like, I finally get to work with this cat. You know, it's like, all right, the world is intersecting. You know.
Yeah.
We have someone named Vanessa Bryant who wants to join. Ty, do you want Vanessa Bryant to join?
That's on you, man. I have no issues.
But what if it's spam? Vanessa, are you spam? Can you show that? Because I'll tell you what happened a week ago, really late. Someone said they wanted to join, and that joker was jacking off. It was the pinkest top of the pinkest, most narrowest top of a penis I've ever seen.
This was your blue.
Jab. Like, oh god, and the lady who I was on the air with, she's like an old Hollywood type of person from Louisiana. Like, oh, you should be ashamed, sir. You can't do that, or you don't even have enough to show to jack it. And I'm like, this is really happening. So I had to erase the whole thing and like unplug and start.
Hey, that means you're really famous now. You got to.
Well, you have someone Howard Stern in you like that with a lip.
That means you made it.
I'm white famous now. Got it.
There's all different types of slapping on this show.
Let her up because I may have to go soon. You know, I'm on this new. I have a new sleep app where everything shuts down at 10, wakes me up at 6.
So wait, why you need to get up at 6?
Oh, bro, we never talked about that.
Because you're gonna get your steps in or some shit.
I was having a 4:30 in the morning challenge with Tasia.
Oh, you're still doing that? I thought you had dropped out.
But we were doing it. It was a mental challenge to get up. Was it 4:30 or it might have been 5:30 every morning for
either way? She kept posting, and I would see her.
And she was up.
And your ass would not post anything until like 11:30 the next day.
Yeah, I was listening to this Kobe interview, and he was talking about how much you can get done before everybody wakes up. So let's just say it's 3 hours. If you're getting up at 4 and they're getting up at 7, that's 3 hours a day that you're ahead of your competition. 15 hours a week, 60 hours a month, 600 hours a year. So imagine if you just continue to do that.
Imagine.
So I tried it. I tried it for a week.
Hours of sleep you could have had too.
But if you go to bed early, you get your sleep back. Like now. You know?
No, I dig it. I've just been a creature of late night. Like I remember being up when David Letterman was on NBC. So that means as a little kid in single digits before I was even a teenager or even 10, I'm up watching David Letterman on NBC, 12:35, 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. David Letterman was my dude till our show came around. It's still David Letterman was my dude.
Yeah, I was always a Jay Leno cat.
I used to
stay and watch Jay Leno all the time.
Yeah, you get used to it. I was getting up at 5:30, and then out the door by 6. My 5 miles takes about an hour and a half. So by 7:15-ish, you know what I mean? I'm back in the house, 7:30, shower, 8 o'clock. I'm ready to start work. You get used to it though.
No, I dig that. I need that discipline because these bags are getting deep set now. I was looking at myself in that Florida sun. I'm like, and I'm turning into Methuselah in front of my eyes. Like, hey, it's salt and pepper. It's okay, baby. No, it ain't salt and pepper. This is fucking sugar on my damn chin. It's straight ash on me. I thought I dropped cigar ash on my chin. I'm getting old, baby. So, and then you look at you gotta get that sleep. So, I commend you, and I'm gonna get that going. I gotta shut off my brain. I don't know how to shut off my brain yet. No one wants to see the Daily Show, Aaliyah. Trevor Noah's too cute, too cool for school. I'm gonna be cute and talk this way because I'm Trevor.
But I do gotta go, y'all.
All right, Ty.
How late y'all gonna be up?
I'm up for a little bit because it's a vacation day. I'm just running. I'll go to the Wawa later and get some food because Wawa is 24/7. Because I'm in the city now. It's different than Florida, although Florida is. But yeah.
All right, y'all. All right, Tommy.
I'm up, brother.
I was just chatting, bro.
For sure. See y'all, everybody in the crowd. Thanks for the support.
Check out Ty
Talk to y'all soon
on his show on his YouTube channel at Ty Wilson 21.
100 miles.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it. I got the you said the white people money. It's it was the FX the Trek FX3 disc 2022. So.
I'll send you the picture of my bike. It's actually pretty tight. Pretty tight. Wait a minute, you got a disc 322. You got a bunch of comments behind the bike. That shit don't just say bike on it.
Yeah, I mean it's an investment on my health. That's how I look at it. You know, like getting a Nordic track.
How much do you spend on it?
A grand, a stack.
Motherfucker still got me beat. I spent $900 on mine.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent bike. It's
a good bike.
Handy. Yeah.
I went to I just got a bike.
But I gotta go.
So the pandemic.
All right, Ty.
No, Tommy, go ahead, Tommy.
Tell me, Tommy.
No, I got dang, I can't think of the name right now. But there's a shop in DC, down northeast, where they have it's a black owned, and they get young black kids from the community to help they get parts they actually create fix up bikes or whatever. So I got it was one of the popular brands, but you get it for a couple hundred versus 1,000 or two, whatever. And you're supporting the young entrepreneurs. My friend told me about it.
True. All right, y'all. Good night for real this time. Good night.
All right, boy. Love you. Talk to you this weekend. See what's going on.
All right, for sure.
Leslie said you want to talk now. Leslie making fun. That's L Shavers. Leslie is L Shavers. What's the Frenchie photo? Ms. Juju? You know how people...
The dog behind me?
What?
As a Frenchie on a bike.
Oh, come on. So here's what's funny about this whole Will and Jada thing. I had a woman get in my DMs and say, I think I mentioned this a little bit in the show, mind yourself, sir. You don't understand, blah, blah. I'm like, who are you talking to? Mind myself. This is my page, just like you have a page. I can say what I want, and I didn't even say anything negative about any particular person other than, Will, you need to sit your ass down and not go around smacking people when you don't feel good. And the funny thing is that people feel the right to tell you to shut up if they don't like what you said, even though they're going to say a whole bunch of stuff that nobody likes, but no one's paying attention to them. You know what I mean? Like, how was Cigar Week, Jay Sean? Hi, love Keish. You just call me Sean, please. Hey, Ayana, pop on real quick. Can you get on real quick, Ayana? Ayana's from Road Rules Real World. Did you ever watch? Hey, she's what? Do you see that, Tommy? Yo, I remember your show from back in the day. Super funny.
Oh, thank you, Ayana.
Yeah, so she has next week. I want to say it's April the 5th. Ayana, let me know. A bunch of her reality show from Paramount superstars are getting together, and they're gonna meet at a theater and just answer people's questions and talk and all that stuff. Ayana's cool. She reminds me of an ex-girlfriend of mine, actually. You know I'd be in the bed. Get out the bed, girl. Tommy's at a home in Miami. April 6th.
Isn't that your Oh, never mind. I was thinking that was your speed dating thing. April 6th.
No. My speed dating thing is April 8th. Whatever Saturday is next week. And it will push that out, but we should have a pretty good crowd. You know, the thing about the speed dating joints, it's always easy to get the black women. We have to work hard to get the black men.
It's never any men.
Well, the men are available. The men just don't want to play in reindeer games. Men think, well, I don't need no speed date. I don't want to do this stupid shit. They just want to hang out at the bar, spend more money at the bar when they have a guaranteed 10 to 15 dates in speed dating. So sometimes you have to show men more than you can tell them. Yeah. Miami and SCDC, that's funny, Ayana.
Yeah, Southeast Miami. Actually, I hosted a speed dating. Well, I did like comedy. It was a comedy / speed dating event. Mm-hmm. I did like a set there, and then, but it was literally like, I think I was the only guy there. Maybe there was like 2 other guys, but then all the women, when they came in, they just looked so upset that there weren't like more men there. And then I was off the table because I was just performing. I was like, I'm not one of y'all, one of them in there. But it's always a lot of women. I don't know why guys don't like the speed dating.
I think it's almost the same thing. Like some guys don't like church. They feel like, well, I have to take this instruction from this dude. Like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I going to? I think I'm cool enough as a guy as it is. I don't need this. Guys get extra proud or something. But speed dating bros, there are wonderful, beautiful women in speed dating. Real quick, Ayana Superhero. Follow her at Ayana Superhero here on IG. She says it's April 6th at Proper K Restaurant. I get bonus points on my Barclays American Airlines card. Proper K Restaurant, Survivor, and CBS Friends. It's a bunch of reality shows, reality show people from your favorite shows on CBS and Paramount Plus and Viacom. So check her out. I'll be there. Right now my schedule is good. So April 6th, that appears to be Thursday.
Wednesday?
Shit.
The wrong day.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Got Shanae Badu. What's up, Shanae? Comedian Crazy.
How do you like? So you got the lady comics are really coming in a different way, right? It's like it's not. I don't know if you. Well, how old are you? You're my age, right? Did we talk about this?
I'm 28 on Instagram.
That's not correct either. But as a 45-year-old man, I remember Paula Poundstone and those women comedians who would do, hey, my boyfriend is like really skittish of going to the store and getting me feminine products type of jokes. Now, the women comedians are talking about sex, whether they're good at it, whether they're terrible at it. They're talking about guys who are fat, who aren't fat. Women are bringing their full expression to it. How do you think men are receiving women comics these days? Because a guy feels like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, she ain't funny. But when we meet a funny woman,
well, I think
it's extra special.
Yeah, I think part of that is like to distinguish a woman from a man comic is, because you're both comedians, so I think that's part of the issue in a way. But I do think I think women always have a harder time, especially, and then you have minority women or black women just kind of fitting in, because comedy from back in the day was like more just like. And somebody actually brought this point up, which I was thinking about, and I think I gotta like do a little more research. But you have like it was all white people who were doing comedy, and then like it wasn't until rather recently I think that like we have black stand-up comedians in general, right? Mm-hmm. Because so many, you look at vaudeville, things like that, where you have comedic actors who are on stage, and like a lot of black people then they would do blackface because that was the only way they could get on stage.
For black to do blackface, you said?
Yeah, so like because before white actors doing blackface, and then black people were like, well, we can act, we can be us better, so that black actors started doing blackface, as their only way to outlet to act on stage, and then we transpired down to like stand-up comedy, and just to be able to get up there and talk about anything or whatever is kind of for black people is a recent endeavor. So and that's for black women. It's even more recent, and so I think women definitely have a harder time of being accepted into the comedy community for you know, for several different reasons. And then there's a stigma, you know, because it's kind of like a guy's club. So like when women join in, it's, you know, I think it's, you know, when women do like you talk about sex and things like that, it's like, oh, why are they talking about that? They can't talk about anything else. And you know, so it's a definitely big hurdles for women to jump over. But I mean, like there are a lot of, you know, great women comedians or great comics who are women. Yeah, but I definitely see. And then there's a few. I would say there are fewer to pick from. I mean, because it's just more of a male-dominated industry. But you know, you have a lot of women entering that space and really like making a name for themselves. So it's.
You think there's fewer women to choose?
Huh?
Fewer. You say there's fewer women to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison to men, I think they're definitely. Because so one thing for my shows, I always make sure like we have a diverse lineup for as far as like men and women. But a lot of times it's sometimes hard, especially to pick not to find women, but to and not using the same people over and over again, but get, you know, different women on the bills.
Mm-hmm. This is the Shawn Show. It's 10:19. We're just hanging out. It's overtime. The show is actually over. We will be mothballed for 2 weeks at least, and then we'll come back and do another Shawn Show. I got a bunch of surprises for you. I got a bunch of great guests, even higher echelon guests than the ones I found and pulled out my ass for the past 9 weeks. This is episode 8, quite frankly, but it's 9 episodes because we started with episode 0. But thank you all so much for riding with us, me and Ty. And it's been really cool just letting you all find out more about things that I'm interested in and my great friends who are doing great things, who could give us insight on so many things. And so with that said, comedian Daryl Bradley said, "What's good, Tommy?"
Hey, what's up, Derek? What's up, DB? I had asked Conspiracy Brother.
Yeah, Dion Williams, Conspiracy Brother. You not all right? I'm gonna ask this question because this is a question where you still vibing. You do have sort of a because I still have it too. You do have sort of an eyebrow arched when it comes to you hear a Negro conspiracy theory. It's like you hear something and you're like, I'm not so sure that's the way it went down. And tell me about how you handle that with your material and just your personal philosophy.
Well, let me see. So I guess 2 questions.
It is 2 questions, but they're joined at the hip, like a joined twins.
Yeah, so I had this character on my sketch comedy show called Dion was actually his name changed to Dion Jenkins, Conspiracy Brother, which is actually I forget where that initial idea came from, but it's basically a guy who's like a quote unquote white black guy, but in certain moments he flips and turns like really, really black.
He turns super black and
goes off on people. And he has like a white girlfriend and all this other stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a pair of just like different things I see, and like, you know, how it's funny, especially like in Hollywood, and not to call nobody out, but you have a lot of like very you know, well known or like black leaders or black activists, and like there's like no way they got a white woman at home as much as they're going in for the culture, and yet you have you know, not to say there's anything wrong with that, but it's so frequent. I was just, you know, so that character was spawned off some of that and a little bit of other things, and so he finds himself in situations where he's kind of forced, he's confronted with situations, and he goes extra black on people, and you know, for good or for worse, for better or for worse, and so that was that.
Was that before Luther came to exist for Key and Peele? You know, the black explainer. Obama had a black.
It was actually before that.
That's what I'm saying. So, do you think they may have actually seen your joint and just modified it enough to where the spirit of this dude, but they changed some things, and they boiled down the finer points of them, and now your material is being used or was used by Key and Peele?
It could have, you know. I mean, but you know, also there's similar ideas and constructs, but I think, you know, We were
Nothing new
we
under
were
the sun, but
forerunner.
it's all.
I will say that we were definitely a forerunner.
Moving on. Yeah. The character Ayana loves the character. Ayana, get your ass out of bed, girl. Let's talk. You ain't doing nothing other than getting ready for work and bed and shit. Say hey real quick.
They thought he went to Howard.
Yeah. So we had 2 weeks ago we had Tevin Scott, who I did a short film with.
Tevin Campbell?
Huh?
Tevin Campbell?
No, not Tevin Campbell, because that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different live. If we had Tevin Campbell on that joint, but but he's a small dude, Tevin Scott. He's a comic dude like you, and he wrote these films, these short films. I did a piece with him when I first started, and I actually credit him with a lot of giving me some clips to give me more work, because I feel like it's brick building, it's bricklaying. But Tevin had a thing he was talking about HBCUs. And,
I think I saw that clip that you posted the other day.
Yeah, and his whole big thing about HBCUs was the nutrition of the struggle of being an HBCU student. Do you believe in that type of thought process? Like there's nutrition in the struggle. You wouldn't have it any other way, because this ain't a good institution if we don't struggle here or there. Or are you kind of like, why do we need to struggle?
No, I think it's good to, you put some gravy on top of the wounds, I guess. But there comes a time where you shouldn't need to struggle, There's a time for everything. So there's a struggle point, and there's a point where like the struggle should be no more. And I think a lot of times, especially some of our HBCUs, which I did attend one of for my master's, it was nice because I went to like a PW, what do you call that?
PWI.
Yeah, PWI for undergrad.
Which school did you go to? Where did you go to?
I went to Carnegie Mellon University.
That's very PWI.
Yeah.
I went to a public PWI though. University of Georgia, but Carnegie Mellon is Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so between there and MIT, so I went ended up going to Carnegie Mellon, and but I remember when I did Howard for part of my master's, and I was like, yo, like why is it so unorganized?
You know how you said it probably like you said it to them, and you sound like a white person.
Yeah, but no, it was just facts. And I'm from DC, and like I've done stuff like at Howard, because I was actually interested in doing medicine. So like during my high school, we did this program during the summers there, and it was like night and day. And I'm like, but it's kind of like a thing. I did a production recently with a group, but they do this. They've been doing this for years. It's like, dog, why do y'all struggle every time? Whereas, like, after so many times, you should at least be able to figure out a process, right? To get things right. So, I don't know. I think... Yeah,
like, when does that black excellence trickle over to administrative work?
Exactly.
Like, when do we get ourselves done within a 5-day grace period?
But the thing is, it's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible.
It is not impossible.
There are definitely ways to, And actually, when I was at Howard, so I actually wrote a plan for the university. And I sent it, and like some of the professors, they were like, oh, this is great. So they sent it out. It was for some project I was doing. But so, for instance, like at Howard, all right, let me flip it. So George Washington University is like one of the biggest landowners in the city. And so they own like a lot of property. But Howard University sits on like some great land also. But what's happened now is like, I don't know if you know, like if you've been over like near Howard recently, but a lot of the properties that actually Howard owned, there were a lot of abandoned buildings on there. There's an abandoned building on the main campus. And they could have found different ways to incentivize that and like, for the benefit. But now it's like they have condos popping up, and like people are making all this money, which Howard's not getting of. It's not going back to students or not going back to resource or for better housing. So how
it's like they're the worst business.
Yeah, how are they like $1 million condos across from like the towers that like they don't even have heat sometimes and things like that. So it's just kind of a ridiculous notion to me. And this is land that they own. So I'm like, they could have found ways to incentivize like dual like campus housing, and outside housing, whatever. Could have found a lot of different ways to create some beneficial.
Make that work.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I'm talking to a kindred spirit because I am a black person. I'm super black. My dad was head deacon in a country church. I actually taught Sunday school for him. My mom and dad, right here, is right my arm's reach. Come on. Mom and dad own their business together. Dad's in the middle. Mom's the lady in right there. Black business. The only black business on that stretch of highway. That's a historical thing because that's a 50-year anniversary of that stretch of highway in Macon-Bibb County, Georgia. Still exists to this day. Black president of the senior class of high school. 99.9% was a school district. And then go to Georgia, and everything's flipped. It's a bunch of white people. But the 3,000 black people stick together hard in the midst of 40,000 whites or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I look at other, like the greatness of HBCUs, and this is really thorny. The greatness of HBCUs, the graduates will know what's best, but the administrators won't do anything that the graduates know is best that they were taught from the HBCUs as a way to make money. I have so many brothers right now. Went to Howard this, went to Hampton that, went to NCA&T. Tell me about how to move my money. I move my money that way. Shit makes money. Hire them. Why are we having administrative issues still? Just saying that. Just wanted to get that off my chest. So, you know. Sending love and thanks for the invite. All right, Ayana. You clearly going to like.
You said you talked about her cousins. All her cousins work in the A building in Howard. So,
She says she has a 3 a.m. workout, man. Plus, y'all talking about my cousins and them. So,
I understand why people work out so early. Does that make it better?
I think they feel like it makes it better.
I feel like you should work out late. That's a better workout to me.
I feel like you work out late. You eat you something.
I think like you work early, just showing off. You trying to show off that I already hit the gym. Like you work out late. That's what real niggas work out.
Yeah, well, my thing is like anything you do early makes it seem like it's a job. So you don't enjoy working out. You have to go to work. So I got to start working out. I don't want to do that. And then you're going to be sore and tired while you're doing regular work during the regular day. Just save that for the end of the day. I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. It's 10:31. We're half past the hour here. Just chilling. Tommy's hanging out, but, you know, he can leave at any moment because, you know, it's late. Although we comics and creative people keep late hours. Anybody who I know wants to jump in for this overtime, you're welcome to do that. But it is Shawn Overtime. You missed the Shawn Says. Apparently it was the best Shawn Says I've ever done, which is hilarious because I didn't fucking write it. I actually just spewed it from the top of the dome, which is hilarious to me. It's like my writing sucks, but my dome work is different. But with that said, again, Tommy's here. He's a comic. He knows some people involved with the controversy. We haven't touched on that much, but he's given us insight as a man of the stage, what he would do, what he think he should do, what should be done, and the ridiculousness of the whole situation with black men front and center in the wrong light when everything was actually, if you take away the slap, rigged for black men to do very well. That's the thing. Questlove, this motherfucker who refuses to get a haircut, has a big ass bush.
Or a shape up.
Yeah, or a shape up. Or a better set of glasses. We won't get into that. Or a black girl. That's something else. Get him a documentary of the year on Hulu for Summer of Soul. Sam Jackson, the blackest man on earth, and probably, I think, this is a whole nother topic, the freest man alive, because Sam Jackson says whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and no one will ever give him stuff about it. But Sam Jackson receiving an Oscar through the Governor's Award. And Denzel Washington talking about him on that Friday. Then you have Shaq and Steph Curry getting awards for their film shorts. This is a black-ass male night, a black male-dominated night, which we have not had a lot of wins like that. At least that's how I feel. There's a lot of black girl magic out there, and rightfully so. Congratulations to y'all. But you should not be in disdain when you see black men achieving too. So with that said, we had black men achieving Sunday night. And Will Smith gets his square-jawed head up there and slaps Chris Rock for the tamest insult I've ever heard at the Academy Awards. That's my personal opinion. Tommy Tate Sr. just joined. Is that your father? Clearly, right?
It is.
How you doing, sir? Mr. Senior, if you want to get on, just join. You're welcome to join, and we can talk and have a few words about your son here.
Yeah, I don't think he knows how to use Instagram. He just be on it. This dude be on Instagram all day. Like somebody who is addicted to Instagram. Anytime I go over there, this is like he got it on. I don't know what kind of phone he got that's so loud, but his phone is the loudest phone in history.
If he's like my mom,
watching the reels.
Like if he's like my mom on Instagram, he was just trying to buy stamps, and now he's all of a sudden here.
He's a consumer of content. He be looking at everything. Like you see this, Like oh, look, watch this. Like dog, I've seen that like 10 times already.
How would you?
I can't wait
describe,
to. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, brother. How would you describe your ladies' nights gigs? How would you describe that for any person just new to DC or people who are in DC? A lot of people watch us in the overtime and watch the replays. How would you describe that as a social event? Because you were talking about masseuses coming through and all that stuff. Is the masseuse giving massages during jokes, or is that the warm-up before the show actually starts?
Now, Almost Ladies Night is the most exclusive event / comedy show in the country and in DC. So it's a dope time. So it's like the idea of it is not just for ladies. It's what's called Almost Ladies Night, for dudes to come through. But there's so many women, dudes should want to come through. It's a great time. And so I think part of the reason I started it was like if you go out in DC like nightlife, whatever, try to go like make a friend. It's usually for every reason. And I'm a DC native. For every reason, when you go out in like the social circles, it's like really hard to connect with people, right? I think unless you know someone there, like you just yourself is typically hard. And just to make a connection, to meet somebody new, make a friend without like a expectation or whatever, or had to buy somebody drinks or whatever the notion is. So the idea of the show was to create like an environment people just come and interact. And so I think that's what comedy is like. That's why people laugh. It's not something you think about doing. It's just it's just instinctive, right? So
so when Will Smith laughed, though,
it's intrinsic, right? It's an intrinsic thing. It's not you don't think about something like should I laugh at it and then laugh. It's like it's natural. It's one of the first instincts before babies can talk. You can laugh, like laugh and cry, right? It's the most basic human characteristic. So anyway, the idea of the show is really to create so we have a pre-show which people come in. We have like welcome shots. You come get some free shots. Come turn up. We got the MC coming around, and then we have like different little game things to like have people interact and just enjoy themselves. We have the masseuse comes out, so like it's also a stress relief. I think comedy is therapy, so like we have the massages going on, so you get loosened up a little bit before the laughter. And and this is the time to get the vibe, or whatever. So I think, and also I hate when I come out to a comedy show or any kind of event. You usually just sit there for like an hour till the show starts. And so I want people to be like engaged, like once they step foot in the show, like you got something to do. You can be entertained. You can chill by yourself if you want to, but you can meet people, have a good time, turn up a little bit. We were doing like the shots with had the bottle girls come out pouring shots in people's mouths before.
Yes.
Now we switched it up. We got a little like test tubes we give you. To take your little shots if you want. But yeah, then the show starts. It's a dope time. So in the show, you might see different celebrities come through. You never know who's going to drop in and do a set on stage during the show. And then we create different like little interactive segments between the comedians, which are like really popular. One of our most popular ones is called Tinder Live, and where we do like a little dating. I think all on the spot improv stuff. We take a couple of people from the audience and like create a little a dating game, whatever. But it's super dope. It's a lot of fun. Y'all gotta come check it out.
I mean, how did you start this on an enterprising level? How did you start this thing? And once you started it, did you say, man, I'm so glad I finally got this going? Or was it like, man, that was easier than I thought? Because a lot of people have ideas. They don't actually put them in action. So that's why I give you this different tiered question. So how'd you start it? And
yeah, it was actually pretty
difficult now.
Yeah, it was pretty random how we started the show. Somebody had a date at a comedy club, which they couldn't fill. And they're like, hey, do you have a show you want to put on? Just so we could keep, like, the dates. Because I guess they had, like, every, like, third Thursday of the month or something like that. And so I was like, but it was, like, a week before that Thursday. And I was like, nah, I didn't really want to do anything. And I thought, maybe I should just put on the show. Because I really wasn't keen on producing the show myself. I just like to perform. But I was like, all right. I just actually that concept came very quickly. And some other friend, like, you should do a ladies' night. I was like, nah, we should almost do a ladies' night. And so that's kind of how the idea came up. I came up with like the concept actually pretty quickly, and we put it out there. I think for the first show we just did like free tickets or something like that. But we got it was like over 300 people got tickets, and like the place was packed out. And I was like, okay. And then we did the show, and I created like little segments in between. Because I always like to do something a little bit different if I'm gonna do it. And it actually went great. And everybody really enjoyed it. I was like, oh, we should do this again. And the second one was successful again. So it just kind of grew into a thing. And then we kind of moved out of that venue because it was only that comedy club now we're at the City Winery, which is kind of like double the capacity. And then we've sold out there as well. So it's been growing kind of organically. And we're seeing like new audiences coming in each time, and old crowds coming back. So it's been pretty dope, and I think people really enjoy the all that it's actually effort to put on because there's so much going into it, but it's also I think people really enjoy it and something different, and it's a lot of fun at the end of the day. It's like like you watch the show, you're also kind of a part of the show at the same time. So
right.
It's pretty dope. So we do like one segment I do sometimes. We create like a song on the spot, so we. It might be a trap song, might be an R&B thing, so we get the audience to give us like a theme, a couple words, some phrases, and so they get to participate, like giving us a thing, and then I just kind of freestyle a song on the spot or whatever, and that's been pretty cool too. But then you have national comedians that you see all over the place, and upstarts. So it's always a different array of different comedians too, so you get like different styles and tastes, and it's really fun.
Mm-hmm. So. Cool. I mean, that's the enterprising part of it, but it was also like you knew you had something, keep doing it, and now you do it on a regular basis, and that's one of your gigs.
They say.
Dope. So you're writing this pilot. Can you tell us anything about what this pilot might be about?
Not really. But it's a lot of experiences into one. It's kind of, it takes an arc on the relationship. So I think a lot of my stuff I really enjoy is talking about relationships and dating. So it kind of has an arc on that. But
you enjoy talking about relationships and dating? I hate talking about relationships and dating. I think it's so frustrating.
Why do you think it's
frustrating? Because I don't think the women listen. I think they just want to hear themselves talk and vent and tell people off. It's like the first 30 minutes, they start that way. And then like the next 15 minutes, you see them get revved up. And then after that, it's like, all right, just put your throat in your pocket because you ain't going to use it because they're just going to tell you why you're terrible.
So I think that's a cool thing. That's like the challenge of it. And then as a comedian, like if you could make that stuff funny, where people kind of laugh at themselves, it's pretty dope. But I think like part of the challenge is I think, the biggest thing I think is like everybody thinks that their way of dating is right? Because even like we ask the question like, what do you look for in another person? It's like, oh, I want this and that, but nobody ever says what can you give to another person, right?
Yeah. What are you offering?
But that's always the lead question. So like that also assumes that everything about you is the way it should be, and that your way of dating or your style is like the right way. Like, no, it's not. Like, so I think first of all, if people kind of look at it differently, that's why even myself, I try to look at it like, all right, instead of like, what do I want? Like, what can I offer? What do I provide? to a relationship, to like this dating experience, whatever. And I think if you kind of even approaching a date is like, all right, well, I want to see what they're going to do. Are they going to open the door for me? Are they going to pull out the chair? Are they going to do? So you're like looking for stuff, but like you're never focusing on what you're giving in that situation. So,
Right.
Like, and you're like, well, I look cute, like I'm going to do this or whatever. Nah, that's not enough. That's something you got to like, people got to approach it differently. But then if you can explain that in a way, so I think that's part of the challenge of like talking about dating and talking about relationships is trying to like figure out in those nuances and also like figure out like if your way of thinking, how you can think about things differently. Because I think that's one of the biggest things is in any kind of like, not just a relationship, but difference of opinion is everybody has, thinks their way is the only way, right? And then when you confront a new thing, you kind of go in attack mode instead of like, all right, let me kind of analyze and see what, if is that right? Is my way of thinking right? So I have like a little bit I was working on. I was like, yo, if you're over 30 and you want to be in a relationship and you're not, like you're the problem. Right?
Everybody over 30. You say everybody over 30.
Yeah, because by that time you had enough time to figure out, like, it's like literally, like you. And I also think about it, like in business terms, like we're in DC, like people got business, entrepreneurs and stuff. It's like if your business has been in the red, been losing money for 30 straight years, right? Are you gonna say it's a customer? Now it can't be the customer all those years. Like at some point you gotta like look at the business model. Like, dog, something wrong with this business. Like I gotta open up earlier, close later. I gotta start giving out free samples. I may need to stop giving free samples. Like you gotta do something.
Businessman.
Yeah, you gotta like, but there's something wrong with the business. And it might not be a big thing, but it's something that has to change. Like maybe letting in the wrong type of customers. Like you got
or cash in on them fucking tabs because you're losing money one way or the other. You're giving them the booze and then you're not taking the money in, so you're losing money.
Exactly. So yeah, it's the business model. It's
so if the problem might be you always. So your comedic philosophy, at least with this bit, is like you need to look at yourself before you start saying, man, these men don't seem to like me. Well, that's because you smell like a rhinoceros. So,
well, I mean, that's for men and women, I think. Like, because I think both parties tend to please smoke detector.
She wants you to smoke. See, I got my smoke detector right here, and it has no batteries because I live on the edge. But anyway, yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I just think everybody, like men and women, both have kind of our preset notions, and like, I think if we both open our eyes a little bit to the other side, I think we can like, and then also just look at yourself, right? Like, because I mean, we're not. If you're single, and you're not, and again, like you don't want to, because some people want to be single, but like if you're not, like there's something about you that needs to change. Like you're the only common denominator in all your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's something. It may not be anything big. It might be something small. It might be something big, but
it's there.
Yeah, it has to be fixed and addressed.
Do you think women are good at accepting that? I mean, I feel like men deep down we know the shit. We'll talk like we don't, but I feel like when you have those male-female conversations or those group thinks, those forums, I'm going to be a part of one for a documentary at the bottom of next month. I'm not looking forward to it. But but men are like, all right, I know I'm on some mess. I don't think women are good at that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you because I had a discussion. I was like the only dude at this discussion. I remember one girl, she said like she kept meeting the last two dudes she was in a relationship with were married, like married men. And like I was like, how do you keep meeting married men? It's like, well, they right. Me, blah blah. I says, y'all. I was like, no, like you should start seeing some signs, all right, after the first one. And it was like one or two more that she had dated. She's like, nah, after the first one, I started asking all these questions, doing this and that. But I was like, clear. I don't know. I hate to like, cause she's not the necessarily one at fault, but I mean, I've never like dated multiple married women, or like, there's a woman who was married who was like hitting on me, and I was like, yo, like, aren't you married? But I mean, I think there's evidence, and so I don't know. I feel like, and again, I don't know. I don't think they were willing. I don't think she was willing to kind of like look at the issue at hand for that one. And so I do think women sometimes have a harder time of like, accepting certain things, whatever.
That's what I feel. I could be wrong though. There's mostly women on this chat. Y'all can tell us if we're wrong. So whatever. You got anything going on this weekend?
Yeah, I have a couple shows somewhere. I gotta look at the calendar. But
who manages your calendar? Is it just you, or is it someone who manages it for you and then checks in with you? Do you have some help? You a one-man band still?
no, I mean it depends on what it is. Like acting stuff, I did have my agent. Comedy stuff. It just depends on the nature of the stuff. But I think as an artist, you always have to be on your ish, and
yeah.
You know, yeah. So I definitely take a proactive role in everything I do.
I agree with that, brother. I don't know if you're done. I'm just hanging out. You're welcome to keep talking because we'll keep talking. I'll talk to everyone at least till probably midnight because people keep popping in. But if you get tired, let me know. But I will keep talking to you as long as you want. I do need to figure out what I got to do tomorrow. You know, when you come back from vacation, it's like, I think I got something to do. That's why I'm coming back the time I'm coming back. I can't figure out what that thing I was going to do is. Like,
you pay your mortgage, pay your bills, all that good stuff?
I ain't doing that till April 5th.
Okay. You did your taxes?
I'm
That's
a
probably
real
about the trip. You got your
I do have to do my taxes. Do you have a tax person or do you do your taxes yourself?
No, actually I do it myself. I had some before, but I didn't like the way they were doing them. So I was like, you know what? Let me just.
Yeah, I had someone do my taxes years ago. And I'm like, y'all aren't lying properly.
No, actually, what happened? Like, it was a family, a dude who was doing all the family's taxes. And I was like, yeah, I didn't really like the way he was doing them. And anyway, like, so I started doing my own years ago, and then he ended up getting like audited or something because he was messing around. I don't know, he did something wrong, and so then it was.
Y'all got audited?
Yeah, my family did. So it was like a whole thing, and I was like, I told y'all. Told you this nigga was no good.
It's probably the coffee mug with 3 X's on it he was drinking from that will tell you a little bit about it. So was he just not qualified, or was he?
No, it was just something.
I just know he wasn't good.
I just am like, I'm like my background is math and all that kind of stuff. So like I'm pretty savvy with that stuff. Any numbers type of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It was something that he was doing. I don't remember exactly right now, but I knew the nigga was trash. And I was like, hold up. Like, and I was like, y'all. It's like he was like, I don't know. To me, it seemed like he was fudging things a little bit. And I was like, I ain't gonna mess around. And but I think he ended up like, it was something he'd end up doing wrong on a bunch of people's taxes, or whatever. And so it kind of came back, and I was like, and they owed a bunch of money, which is crazy.
He was a crook.
He was a dude from, he was an older black man too, so maybe he would just,
Did he have just a mustache, a frosty white mustache? That's all he had. And he was probably trying to fix the banister from the Cosby Show. You remember that dude from the episodes of the Cosby Show that never fixed the banister and always would fudge how much stuff would cost and give Heathcliff a problem? You remember that dude? There's so many things for the Cosby Show that I feel like it's just going to be lost because no one's ever able to see the Cosby Show again.
I don't remember the banister dude. That wasn't my show though.
Yeah. I remember. He just got on my nerves. There's an older black man who would talk about, well, it might take such and such a day, it may take such and such. And Cliff would just be frustrated, like, well, why can't you just give me a straight answer? But that's handyman blues. But you can't hire a handyman to do your taxes.
You can. I guess before I go, let me see. Let me put you on the hot seat. How are the ladies treating you after Ready for Love? Is it going down the DMs more or down in real life more?
All right, so in the beginning, the DMs were like all sorts of prospective women just from all over the country. Pew, pew, pew. Like missiles, like from Vladimir Putin, just flying in. Like, and I'm like, this is a lot of heat. I don't know if I want this. Especially the first time I show up. Because I showed up with my shirt open and my chest out and everything. Shut up, Kym. I can answer this one.
Yeah, he had that body butter on.
The body butter on this. She said it's a trap. It's Cosby Show's back on TV One. Awesome information. But after some time passed, then you start to get the DMs start to turn into like inquisitions of a very weird variety. Like they start sending you text messages like kidnappers who you know, the kidnapper typewriter where they cut out the letters to do the kidnapper notes. It's like the women type their text in those kidnapper magazine letter cutout ransom notes. It's like, you a good husband for me and we had kids. Like, who? What side of Sealy wrote this damn thing? And it's like, there's some weird ass people. Other than that, a bunch of Forex women, the most beautiful women in the world, apparently do Forex exchange. I don't know. Of late, though, it's been more or less about being ID'd, even after the fact, even a season after the fact, being ID'd in any space where there's 60% black people, and of that 60%, 45 to 65% black women. They always say, ready love, ready love, ready love. And then they'll say some of the damn lines from that. Ability. You know what? They misedited. I don't even try to explain shit anymore. But the women have largely treated me nice, though, because they just are so happy to see somebody that they recognize from a TV show that they like. It doesn't even matter I don't even know if they like me. They just, hey, you're Shawn. Take a picture with me. It's so good to see you. I appreciate what you did, blah, blah, blah. You're lying, because you weren't listening. You're just glad that I'm here to take a picture.
Well, do you think, because you were kind of harshly treated on the show, do you feel like you get a little sympathy love? People are like, oh, you...
I think the older women give me sympathy love. All the older women, like 55 and older.
That's the kind you need. They got benefits. You get dental insurance, health insurance, car insurance.
Wait a minute, Thomas. I don't know if I want benefits. I can get my own benefits. You know, Obamacare works.
You could, but you can get some better. Look, you don't even got real lights. You got Christmas lights. This niggas.
Hey,
April.
That was me trying to make something of.
If you had an older woman in your life, you wouldn't put no lights in no banister. That's a safe.
If I had an older woman in my life, my whole house would smell like Ben Gay. And I have to be in bed by 9:30.
Nah,
and the thermostat will be set at 82.
Nah, the new school old women. Don't be sleeping on the older ladies. The new school old women, they be smelling like Chanel No. 9. And what's the other stuff? I can't think of the little name.
This Chanel No. 1899. But no, like, all right, so I'll say this. So the older women, they always like say, we didn't think that you actually should have been involved with those women because you actually asked questions and you were a little bit different. You were a little. They're talking to my intellect or whatever, as if my castmates weren't smart or whatever. But there was clearly a different. Oh, we talked about earlier. It felt like, if anything, with my cats, it felt like I went to a PWI and they all went to HBCU. So everybody was cool kids, and I was like, you know, this nerdlinger, and all these white kids around me and shit. But the older women always make those distinctions. The younger women have a ton of questions. The older women are like stiff upper lip. Don't worry about that. I think you were the best of the lot. The younger women are going to grill your ass first and then beg you for a bunch of selfies. It's very weird. But like what Shawn Says was, my essay at the end of the show, you know, a teaspoon of celebrity goes a long way. And so I'm still feeling that teaspoon of celebrity. I just went to smoke cigars in a strange area code, Tampa St. Pete area code. And I was inundated with people who wanted to take picture here, picture there, tell their girlfriends, tell their guy friends. Like I said, there was a happy hour that was supposed to be in my favor. I ended up in Port Richey. That's a whole other story. Yeah.
So what's your target age range? Would you date? Actually, what's the youngest you dated and the oldest you dated? Don't sound like you date older women.
I don't. No, I don't. Actually, I do date older women, and I'm trying to not date older women anymore. The youngest I've dated to this point.
You gotta think that hard.
I do. Like 29, 30. That was a one-time trip, though. 30. I have sustained dates with a 33-year-old. 33 is not bad, 33 record spins better as well as the 45. But I'm trying to adjust to dating younger and open up that pool. One thing I will say the show has done for me when I was on the show, when I met the likes of, say, Aisha, who's 38 now, to Sia, who's 33, gonna be 34, I think. Those women are like interesting enough for me to hold my interest. Like, okay, so younger women could be possible. I used to be like, nah, younger woman can't do anything but the old Chris Rock joke, make reservations, right? Boil a pot of water, maybe, but younger women were not doing it for me. But when I was on Ready to Love during the show, like the younger women that I was engaged with, I'm like, okay, these women have some things to them that won't make my eyes roll every time we have an actual conversation. It's not just about them being young or actually being able to produce babies, but I want to be able to talk to you. I want to be able to, you don't roll your eyes when I put CNN on when I come home or something like that. Okay. You got any more damn questions for me? Mofo. Who said don't discriminate? Thanks for
somebody said you fumbled that.
I fumbled what? I fumbled the question or the it's the experience. Yes, our cure what's Karen? Queer. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the answer to that. But I will say that this little black famous experience of being on a reality show, it's been interesting. It's been fun. And for what we do, a little bit more notoriety. But I just want people to know that I'm not just a dude talking about dates and the constant cyclical male-female relationship. I have so many interests as a former journalist, as a writer, as an actor, as a man who played 4 characters on stage. You saw me do that. Just whatever.
You think you're better? You're better than everybody now, huh?
I think I'm better than everybody except you. No, I don't think I'm better than anyone. No, come on, sometimes I just want to just lay in the cut, and then my friends will be trying to poach off of my celebrity. Yeah, he was on a reality show. He's talking to a superstar. Why are you doing this, man? Why can't we just have a drink? Well, fellas always got ulterior motives. Lady A is promising me a wife. What about you, Tommy? I mean, you collecting checks. You do work. You do lots of work. You produce stuff. What's up with you?
Just out here, looking for the woman.
Just out here.
Just looking for the woman the Lord leads in my life.
Maybe the Lord has led a lot of women, and they just been like dying at the at the Sea of Babylon. They just can't get on the boat. They just.
Oh, somebody's prophesying in your name. They said Shawn will meet his wife in September or October.
This is what I'm talking about. This looks like he doesn't want to talk about it. Oh, it's talking about you though. You got those sexy glasses.
Oh, dominoes. I'm about to make dominoes fall in a minute. Let's stop playing me.
Aisha is fine. Aisha's doing Aisha things. Tommy's picky, says Kym.
How do you
answer the question? Don't be playing, Tommy. Claire Queen for life. Faux life. She said faux life. She did that NWO. Faux life.
I'm not picky. I'm just here. I gotta have somebody to pick. Look at this. I just got a French on the wall, all by myself. It's me and my little glasses.
Got a French ass bicycle. That, you know what that look like? If you scroll up, that look like it could be the little or big joker for a fancy deck of cards. What is that? What is that? Is that the big joker or the little joker right there?
That's a medium joker. That's for me.
That's the worst game of spades. No, there's 3 jokers. There's 3 jokers.
That's a black deck. You don't know what's gonna be in there. It's a house deck. Got 3 jokers.
Hey, let me tell you something. That might be a skit. So last night I was supposed to have Clint Coley, who did the World Series of Spades. It's on Amazon. I started watching that during the damn start of the pandemic. And he's got a big following and all that stuff. He's out on the West Coast. He's got a tour coming up. But I straight canceled that show because I'm like, I can't do anything on Tuesday. I got other stuff to do. It took me a moment. I was a prisoner to my work. And this ain't really work. This is fun, but it is work. I mean, you get a sponsor and there's money changing hands and stuff. So, but do you feel that way sometimes? Like you're in control of your career. You're running it. But do you feel like, why am I doing this when I want to do something else? Or are you just driven? Or are there times where you just come in and like, I can't do this anymore?
I think you gotta learn to do it. Like I'm saying, like you gotta make it fit your world or whatever. So I mean, if there's something like you want to do like consistently, I would say like, make sure, because people tune in on Tuesdays, so maybe you want to do it every Tuesday, or like do a backup date, like you did, But you can also make it fun for yourself. Like you're on vacation, like make it part of the experience or whatever, where it's not feeling like work. And I think that's the part of the thing is like, as doing something that you love to do, is like you make it, it becomes hopefully fun for you. And, it's a job, but, you kind of want to keep that freshness and the enthusiasm and fun part with it.
Right.
So I think that's the important part.
People trying to guess
what?
Guess your sign.
How you know I'm a Gemini? I am a Gemini. Put out my personal information out there. Let me see. What's on the internet? No, I am a Gemini. Somebody said 3 requirements.
A couple of people went all over the place. But Always LA was like, Tommy's a Gemini. Everyone shut the fuck up. Tommy's a Gemini. And Lady A's like, is he a Taurus? Domino's like, nah, Pisces. And Lady A is like, no, I was close. But Lady A, you were close? You say Taurus? Well, I guess Taurus is close to Gemini. No, Taurus isn't close to Gemini, is it?
I don't even know.
There's Aries, then Taurus, then Gemini. Okay. When's your birthday, man? Don't give me a date. What's your birthday?
In June.
Your June birthday.
June.
Like, so I got that's not Gemini. Yeah, it is. It's Gemini. I got a Gemini friend like that. He's a Flag Day guy. Born on Flag Day. Anyway, all right. So, ladies, did y'all have some breakdowns of Tommy because of his birthday or his sign? Can you share any of that?
Yeah, what does that mean? Got 2 personalities. So I said top 3 requirements in a woman. I don't think I require a woman to do anything. What I want in a woman, I wouldn't require. But then you get them Jada slaps.
People love Deion Jenkins, by the way. I see that right here.
Hey, Deion. What's up, Vince? I was way up. Yeah, it's top 3. All right, let me see. So I do feel like you should only have 3. Your list for the your person or whatever. I think it should be only 3 or 4 requirements or characteristics that you need, but they should be fundamental. Not like no long list, but I think and then the other stuff you compromise on.
Do you have the 3, or you just say they're gonna be 3?
Well, I'll give you 2 of mine. I won't put all of them out there, but I say 1 is someone who can have fun doing anything. That's so like, but I think that goes to a lot of things. Like what you're talking about, like you come home, you got CNN on, and somebody, boom, boom. But somebody who could enjoy that can enjoy, some ratchet show, whatever. You go out to a bar. I mean, you can go to the grocery store. Y'all can have a dope time. right?
Yep.
Do anything.
Grocery shopping with someone is really fun. That's a true story.
Yeah, because actually, I went on a date like when I was younger. We went grocery shopping. We had like a great time together. Like we just had a good time, like doing practically nothing. So that was pretty cool. But some people can just make any situation good. But I think you also have those times when you've been out with somebody and it's like, even though you're at the club, like can we go to another one? Like I'm about like making the experience wherever you're at. So that's one. And then two, obviously, relationship with God. And let me say, I'll do one more. Passionate, someone who's passionate about something in life. So I think, but it's a specific passion, but where whatever it is, like whether it's their career, a hobby, something like you're very like your children, whatever it is, like I have a clear passion for it. Like
they're interested in something strongly.
Yeah, definitely. Something that leads into different things, and also it makes it, you're going to gain interest in something that they're interested in because they're passionate about it, right? Like someone loves like working with like kids overseas, something like that, or helping, volunteering, like because you're in them, you're going to like, fall inside a little bit. And it's like, okay, that's pretty dope. Then you're going to find something new yourself probably as well. So, I think that passion is definitely key.
Nope, those are three good ones. Ladies, you got a problem with that? Hey, Jennifer G, how you doing? Jennifer G is a jazz songstress, currently living in the Windy City. So you get to know some of these people when you talk with. Yeah, Jennifer has shared some music with us. No, those are three good ones. I think those are three legit qualities. And the hidden quality is, everyone talks about what they have to add to the table. Think about what they add to the table that has nothing to do with money or sex. What do you bring to the table that has nothing to do with your body and how it's used, or the money and how you've earned it? What is your quality? Because that makes you think beyond the pale. So if I were to say, what was it? The sometimes why is the extra vowel. The extra vowel in the love language, or what I would like, is what do you bring to the table that has nothing to do with your sex ability or your money earning ability? And then we could talk.
I think a lot of people found that out during the pandemic. Like all the pretty faces or the hunky dudes who didn't have no skills. They couldn't cook nothing, couldn't build anything. Y'all just at home, couldn't even order Uber Eats. See, I think all this, because people before, you're like, well, what if a man can cook or a woman can't cook? Well, I'm just gonna order out. I'm gonna do this, but then like the world literally shut down and you couldn't do none of that stuff. Yeah. You couldn't get nobody to come over to your house and like fix the sink, go out and like fix the roof or whatever. Like, the dude had to do it, or somebody had to do it. So
the pandemic let people learn who's gonna turn into zombies if there was a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, and who's gonna survive? Yeah, a lot of divorces in the past 2 years. Exactly. Because people learn like you need skills, like skills for men and women, like were overlooked for so long. So I think that's big. What can people bring to the table besides just because you couldn't do anything with money during the early parts of the pandemic? Couldn't even go nowhere.
I am Nakia. Looks very lovely with their profile picture. Here's the problem with IG. The profile picture is too small. She's shooting all the shots. You see this in all caps. She says, a man who is secure in who he is, comma, able to navigate through tough moments without losing control, comma. A man who is confident in his provision. She used the word provision.
Oh, that's a good word right there, provision.
In his provision.
That's a PWI. She went to PWI, didn't she?
That's a PWI word, ain't it? She ain't using provision like that unless she's Frederick Douglass. A man who's confident in his provision and makes solid, sound decisions. Ultimately, one self-aware. Ooh!
That nigga doesn't exist. Niggas don't got provisions and the self-aware. You can't put
like, I don't know,
provision and self-awareness in the same sentence. Now she just making up niggas now.
I know not who she speaks of, fam. She listed all of that shit. Good job. Ooh, she wants to join. All right, we're gonna see if this is a real person. Wisdom of Kaya, or is it Kia? She should be flying at any moment. Boom, 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 boom. Hello.
Too funny.
Hello. Hey,
hello, how are
look
you?
at.
Hi.
Is that
Oh, bless you.
Is that a stud right there?
It is.
Is that the back of the stud or the front?
That's actually the front. The back is
Where's
on the
back?
inside.
Where's the back? Let's see the back. Can you do that?
You want to? Oh, you all up in
your
my mouth,
is
huh?
filling the jewelry. So.
Okay.
What kind of show did this just turn? I just left for a second.
See, I didn't show all that.
We showing back in the
game all that.
Well, you wanted to see the inside. Nakaya.
Where are you from, Nakaya?
It's Nakaya.
Where are you from, Nakaya?
I'm sorry. I'm living currently in Atlanta, Georgia, but I was born and raised in New York, in Brooklyn.
Don't rep that.
I am the product of... I'm in the A now. Yes,
I can hear you.
indeed. And I am the amazing product of two military parents, mother who is Dominican and Haitian, and a dad who is Jamaican.
Talk about the ass whoopings. The ass whoopings are epic in that house.
They was no joke. No joke. Still with me to this day. Still having flashbacks.
Tommy, do you have questions for Nakaya from Brooklyn / New York?
Do you have any questions?
Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia.
Where did he go? I don't even see him.
Probably
Where
looking
is
for some
he?
alcohol. I feel like.
No, where did you go? I don't see you.
Because she was coming for you. She was answering her questions.
Hold on, me?
Yeah, I was just, I don't see you on the screen.
So I'm getting something to drink.
Shawn was looking for some alcohol.
I'm looking for alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do your thing.
So hold on, you were the one with the vision?
Yes. Yes,
okay,
Nakaya.
So, first of all, thank you for, I guess you watched part of our show, or how'd you find us?
All the time?
Word up?
Yes. Well, as often as I can. I try to catch you when I can. I have the notifications set up, so I kind of see you when you get on.
This is the first time that I actually set a calendar. So I think that helps some people. I don't know this internet. What do you think of the shows that we've been doing so far?
I think they're awesome. Great conversation. It creates a healthy dialogue, especially between Black men and Black women. It gives a lot of incentive as far as what we're looking for. That's why I kind of had to chime in on tonight. I thought it was really interesting. I just made a post earlier today in regards to what you just said. I don't know if you want to be... Yes, you actually just said something shortly ago about something that has to do other than sex and money. And I just made a post about that a little early because we had a conversation that I got in on a live earlier that this brother was doing. And we were talking about what I particularly was bringing up, accountability. They was talking about the Will Smith, Chris Rock situation, of course. And I just wanted people to really look past that one part of the situation and just delve into all the factors, how this brother has been humiliated and emasculated for years now, publicly and privately, and how those things I think played a part, though I don't justify him assaulting another Black man. It's just not something I wanted to see. But can we understand that there was pent up frustration and that it really was coming from another place? And ultimately, the accountability I thought that my sister Jada should have had in trying to stop him in that moment. I know for me, if it was my king, and I speak manifesting that into a reality hopefully soon, at all costs, while he's protecting and my honor. I want to protect his integrity and keep him from doing anything that can ultimately cost him.
And cost you.
And so that was the conversation. That was the conversation, and it actually led me to put up something about how challenging it can be to walk authentically in who you are and not being willing to compromise. So I said, well, what do someone do with a woman like me that I consider the minority because I lead with integrity and I'm not driven by money or sex? And so I thought that was interesting when you touched on that. So I was like, let me jump in here. And the thing that I'm looking for that I stated, I stand 10 toes down on that's what I know that I can bring. So you want someone that's disciplined and someone that has self-control, especially at this stage of life. You know, we can't be impulsive. We can't just jump out there and make rash decisions because our decisions affect more than just
you're a
us.
beautiful woman, and you got this fantastic.
I appreciate you.
Looking at you, just generically looking at you. All right, so I just wanted to get some. I need the audience and for me to get some crib ideas of what you're about. So, how old are you, if you don't mind?
I am 45.
So you're my age. When is your birthday, sweetie?
Are you 45?
You don't see that? You don't see that?
Okay. Look at you. No, you don't look 45, and neither do I. So we're not going to even claim that. But my birthday is October 7th.
Libra gang.
I'm a Libra.
Is in the house apparently. October 7th, Libra, 45. Do you have any children? How many kids?
I do. 4, 2 boys, 2 girls, and I'm almost an empty nester.
Wait. They're almost out the house. So when you
look, one more to go. One more to go.
Carry the one. When you were like 26.
He said carry the one.
You started to crank them out. Well, that may be the last one. So like around 2021, you had children. Is this with the same person or with a different man?
Yes.
Which one?
Yes.
I gave you 2 options.
Same person. I was actually, it's funny because I was in my first year of school. And of course, the first thing you think is, oh my gosh, you know, my life stops here. You know, it's all about this baby. And I'm so grateful that I had a mom, rest her soul. She just passed recently, that was super supportive and encouraged me to continue in whatever that vision I had for myself. And she let me know that she was right there to ride it out with me, help me. I'm not going to parent for you, but I will help you in parenting and what all entails with that. So I had a strong support system. I'm almost happy at this stage of my life that I kind of did it that way, as opposed to now. The times we're in now, I don't think that I would want to have a child if that was even a conversation, but it's not. And I feel like I'm growing with them still. I instill in them the wisdom that was given to me. I'm not a perfect mother. I don't think that there's a such thing, but I definitely, again, I stand on integrity. I have principles, and they know when it comes to that, there's no compromising with that. Not with them, not with anybody. And I lead by example because I do have daughters. So I know that I'm their first example, and I want my girls to be ladies at the end of the day. We don't even really hear that term anymore.
What's something you say? They have Caribbean mother and father.
Yes, Dad is from Jamaica, born and raised. He's from the West Indies, and his folk too.
They raise a daughter, and then you're raising daughters. What's one lesson? What's like the biggest takeaway that you gained from them that you pass down to your daughters? As far as dating.
Good question.
In general, something that they instilled in me.
Let me say, relationship.
You said dating? I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing. Oh, dating. Well, date with intention. I know that's what my mom always said. You know, don't do anything just because. Try to be intentional about everything that you do. Be intentional with even your conversation. Try to be intentional with your thoughts because they manifest things. So that was always her stance. I learned a lot about the power in submission, not to view it. I know as many women of today view it as a weakness when you think of being led and doing, you know, what your husband tells you to do. It's funny because when we touched on, not to go back, but I just want to piggyback a little bit, when we talked about the protection now that women feel when they saw what they saw the other night at the Oscars. Oh, wow, that's the way I want to be protected. I have been watching some crazy comments throughout social media on many different platforms where everybody think that that's what's up. Well, guess what? I have to really think about that thing for a second. I said it's so unfortunate because it means we limit men to these two attributes of just being a provider and a protector. And I think there's many, many attributes that make up a man. And there's many ways a man can protect you outside of what we saw. That's not the only way that I want to be protected. So there was a lot of
intellectual level. I was actually
absolutely,
disappointed that
absolutely
that route. And it wasn't even, I still go back to, that joke was not inflammatory. That's some pent-up anger. Chris Rock took that for 2 years of shut-in pandemic ridicule of his life.
right.
But anyway,
Right.
I want to keep this going a little bit because you're open to sharing it. So you're in Atlanta. You're a lovely 45-year-old woman. You also
yes, single and celibate now in my third year of celibacy.
Third year of celibacy.
You celibate?
Third year. I'm super, I'm so glad you asked me that because I'm so transparent when it comes to that because there's two sides to that. So it's something.
How tough is it to be celibate with the stud underneath your lip?
You know.
Because people will make characterizations.
You do know. You do.
People will make
I'm sorry.
So this is why I ask. So this is why I should be Oprah because I ask the big questions. But yeah, like you know, you got that, and people are like, wait a minute, you celibate with that right up on your tongue, and then you did something with your tongue when you showed it. So.
But you know how crazy that is. That sounds. That's like if you were to say that you were celibate. I would say, wow, are you celibate with a bald head? Really? Are you celibate with a piercing in your face, with tattoos on your body? That makes no sense. It was an intentional decision that I made. And here's the thing. Let me tell you the wisdom and why I made that decision. It wasn't just about my healing. And you know, we all have our demons, right? So you have some folk, they may have had an issue with addiction in some form, drinking, drugs, or whatever. I always tell people that was not my demon. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I never have. But I had a season maybe where I didn't value myself. Okay, this is for the sisters if they're listening. And so you get to a point where you want to value you because you can't keep expecting somebody. I used to say one of the most foolish things ever is to demand people to love you for who you are when you don't even know who you are. Crazy, right? So part of my journey of healing was not just about me. It was about this thing that I say that I desire, right? I want somebody that sees me and loves me for who I am and all the things that I bring. Well, in order for him to do that, I have to start the process first. Now that I'm in that space, because I've taken the time to close my legs and shut it down and deal with those toxicities and traumas that I may have brought to some of those failed relationships, because we love to point the finger and pretend it was just the man and take no accountability. So I had to say, okay, just in case there are some things that you brought and contributed to the breakdown of that relationship, how about you take time, work on you, heal you. Now you can set your standards and start saying that this is what I require because now you show up in this truth. So a lot of me, because you'll often hear me say, and I have webinars that I do with the women weekly, and we talk about how to get back to that place where we can honor and respect the Black man again. And I come from a very structured, disciplined family, a military family. So the men in my family weren't men in the house. They were men of the house.
Got it.
And there's a difference. So they knew their place. My mother knew her place. The children, we knew our place. And I come from that. So I've seen what that can look like in a healthy setting. True enough, though, I'm not my mom. So I had to find out what works for me. So when I say I honor and I respect the Black man, that starts in his absence. I don't have my king, but I have to start moving in a spirit that I'm worthy of whoever he is when he shows up. And he's going to show up with the very things that I now have in myself because I've taken the time to heal. So healing looks a lot different for a lot of people. So there was no religion attached to it or nothing spiritual. I guess in a lot of ways it can be very spiritual because sex is very, very serious. We're talking about energy. We're talking about us as women being the receptors and taking in that man's energy and everything that he has going on within himself. So it is very serious. But I mean, it's a process and it's a never-ending process. I think we can all continue this journey of healing and learning and growing and evolving and just operating on a higher frequency. So I don't get caught up in my flesh. Am I a woman at the end of the day? I get tingles, I get feelings, I see brothers that's attractive and I can go, and I can go to that place. The discipline now is that I don't have to stay in that place. I don't have to allow that thing to manifest into something physical. I know better. So it's not tough, but I'm not going to say it's easy either. It's not easy either. It really depends on who you are and what you want. So again, I know what I want now. So I'm not going to find him. I mean, he's not going to find me if I'm bed hopping. So I got to be still. I got to be someplace where he can see me. I call it healing is attractive. Absolutely, absolutely. How can he find me if I'm here and there and everywhere? So it was about being still so that it can find me when the time comes, when it's time.
It's 11:30,
so,
half past the hour. It's Shawn Overtime. This is only going to be available on IG for you folks who actually follow me on IG tonight and tomorrow. The show itself, the Shawn Show, starring Tommy Taylor Jr., who's still in our corner right there. He'll be listening to everything that we've been talking about right now. That's going to happen, and that'll be on YouTube as well. Tommy, Mr. Taylor, your witness. You got anything to say to our lovely guest of the guest?
I think
been putting it out there.
No, I think she was thinking.
Hold on a second. You got your camera very close. Where is your camera?
I had to it's in the charger. That's why I don't know if you could see the cord, and it's super short. So yes, I didn't want to get cut off, and I'm sitting here like I can see the thing flashing. I know that my battery's low. So I'm like leaning, and trust me, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm like leaning and I'm sitting here with the phone plugged up because I don't want to lose you. I'm here.
Carry on.
I'm here.
Y'all asking all the pointed questions. I think you're I think everything she said was spot on. I mean, there's no argument there. I think and knowing yourself, I think know thyself is always a big thing, and so coming to a realization of what you want for you, and then the actions that you have to put forward to create like your best path going in the future. And you've been doing certain things that didn't bring you to that point. So like, and I think that's what we were actually talking about that earlier. I was like, yo, it was kind of a joke, but I was like, if you're over 30 and you're single, and you don't want to be single, like you're the problem, right? So there's something about you that has to change, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be something small, but like you can't keep repeating the same actions and expect different results, which is like the definition of insanity, right? So as far as relationship and as far as like finding your person, finding the one for you and the best person for you, you know, sometimes you have to change your course. And I think, and you've realized that in yourself, and that's something that you've actively pursued in a different path as far as celibacy and different. And then I think in your intention, your mindset and everything like that as well, I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think you're preaching. Preaching, girl. I'm sitting here taking notes.
Just preaching.
I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate that. And I'm realistic about it. Don't get me wrong. I know that that's not for everybody. Like if there's a sister that can tell me that there's a way that you can go through the process of healing without celibacy, I would have been all ears like this. But for me, I understand, again, like I said, energy. And even at this point where I am now, I tell people my cuts come quick. You know, when I cut you off, it's spiritual. It's not personal. I can't have anything that sucks the life out of me anymore. If it doesn't evolve me, it doesn't involve me, I'm gone. I'm ghost. I'm out of here because I'm always looking to be a better version of me. There's a legacy that I want to leave behind, an inheritance that I want to leave to my children. And so I don't give room to things that don't feed me and lift me. And also, it was another point that I wanted to make about something you said. When we make those decisions, as far I want to say careless decisions, and I try not to assert myself over men. So I'm not going to really speak to men. I'm constantly finding myself speaking more life into sisters, especially when it comes to being accountable. A lot of the expectations that we have always had in regards to men has been unrealistic, literally from childhood, if you think about it. The way that we're told what we're supposed to look for, the mess that they show on the television, society even today. And so I'm thinking, like, get real about what it is you actually want, because this idea, this fantasy that they put out there of what it's supposed to look like, it's really messing us up. It's messing us up in a big, big way. You have women saying all kinds of things like men are not emotionally available, and you know, if he's too sensitive and if he shed a couple of tears, you want to demean him and emasculate him and call him weak. It's almost like you don't even know what you want. Get for real about what it is you want. Even in my parents' situation, as beautiful as that was for the time that they were together, I still didn't take that as the actual blueprint. What I did was I took from it what I thought could benefit me and my own path, and that was it. The rest of it I left behind, because she is who she is. We are a product of them, but we are still ourselves. And we have to get to a point where you come to find, okay, this is who I am. That worked for my mom. That worked for my grandma, but that's not who I am. And I call it generational choices. Like, you know, we often hear about generational curses. Yeah, we dealing with a lot of that, our people, on just a whole scale. But it's generational choices too. You just kind of doing what mama did and what grandmama did. That might not be for you, sis. Be willing to step out, dare to be different, make the changes, break the curses, do something different, raise your children different,
right.
if you want better results.
It's influenced by their parents.
Yes,
and
sir.
there's a certain measure of direction that your parents put on you, but at a certain point, you have to make a choice. I like what you're saying about choosing your
Yes.
generational choices. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
it's a major key.
How did you
Yeah.
come to these revelations on your own? Because that I think the women here are really loving what you're saying. I'm reading the comments. I'm loving what you're saying.
I appreciate that. And I'm saying that because I genuinely love them. You know what was one of the first things for me is I always had a longing for sisterhood. I come from a really, really big family. We have a lot of women in our family. On my mom's side, there's like 9 girls. They all had daughters. It's a whole heap of females in the family, right? But there was never no real sisterhood. And then as I got older, you know, I was discovering things right before I went to school. You know, you hear about the fraternities and the sororities and different things like that, that people sometimes become a part of, not even having the full knowledge of what they stand for and the principles that they stand on, but just that longing to want to belong to something, you know, that unity. And so for me, I wanted to know, what is real friendship? What does that look like? What is trust really? Trust is when this sister can be able to come to me and have a conversation with me, and I keep that conversation between her and I. I don't carry that over to my other girlfriend and tell her. And so I started to value friendship, value trust. And I said, what can this look like in sisterhood? So instead of when I encounter a sister that looks like myself, I'm not looking for what I can get from her. I'm more so looking at what I can pour into her. If I have a desire for sisterhood, it has to start with me first. So I show up and I give that. I'm willing to serve. I lead with humility. I'm going to be these examples. So it's not a thing of me coming in and taking a position of a teacher, because I'm learning. I'm still learning and growing every single day. But I wanted that. And when you want that, you do the work. You do what is necessary to have the things that you say you want. I really wanted to know what that looked like. I said, I'm tired of people saying Black women can't get along. We so catty. All we do is fight and fuss. We jealous of each other. You can't have real, genuine sisterhood. At the end of the day, she going to get jealous of you. She going to want your man. She going to want your life, your business. And I said, I don't believe that. I want to get to a place where we can celebrate each other. When you walk in the room, sis, you're not a threat to me. You're not my competition. You can't even dim my light. You don't have the ability to do so. I came here with a whole purpose for me, for Kaya, and that purpose can only be fulfilled through me. So what ultimately happened as I'm healing and I'm starting to see the value in me, Now I can see the value in my sisters. Now I can look at them, and the same love that I want for myself, I want it for them. The same way I want to win, I want to see her win. The same way I desire to have headship and covering and a leader and a man that can speak over my life and pour into me, I want that for her. You start to want those things for your sisters and for your brothers. So that's why I got on the journey. It started from a selfish place, I'm being honest. I just wanted it. I wanted real girlfriends. I didn't want that fake stuff. I wanted to be able to leave the dinner table and go to the restroom and not feel like you guys are sitting there talking about me. Girl, look at her. She thinks she all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted real friendship, real sisterhood. And I said, I want to be that for somebody. And that's just where it started.
This is Nakaya. She's phoning in from Atlanta with the spirit of Brooklyn inside of her, with the spirit of the Caribbean all the way inside of her. She's 45 years of age.
It ain't going nowhere.
She's a mother of 4. She's about to be an empty nester. They about to get the fuck out of the house. And she has been bearing her soul as a woman of faith and a woman who's walking a certain path that a lot of women are not willing to take, and she's trying to give some encouraging words to everybody here. This is a Shawn Show. We have Shawn Show Overtime for the next 27 minutes, because Facebook, IG only gives us 4 hours straight throughout. But 27 minutes. Tommy Taylor's still here, and he knows a little bit about living a certain lifestyle, and like he's been listening to Nakaya, and Nakaya has given us her beautiful brown dimples and her truth. And we've appreciated all of it as men receiving it. And the women who've been watching have been receiving it as well. So if there are any questions, please give them now. You got 21 minutes, at least with me. Nakaya is going to stay on as long as she likes, and Tommy's going to stay on as long as he likes. But we got about 25 more minutes. And we're presented by Body Butter Bakery. The floor is everybody else's now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to bid you beautiful people adieu for the night.
Yes. Man, it's been great talking to you. As usual.
Always a pleasure. And and thank you for the words of inspiration. She needs, you're going to have to bring her up back for a special guest.
We really do. And I got to figure out what she's eating right now, too.
I appreciate you.
She's making whatever she's eating look terrific. You can't just do that when you're talking about your stuff. But yeah, all right.
It ain't nothing good. It's healthy.
Sure is. Well, Tommy, thank you so much, sir.
Hey, thank you. Shawn, you was talking about how she got the mouth ring, but you got your shirt all open and everything for everybody to see on it.
Hey,
that's what I'm talking about. You better say it. That's what I'm talking about, King. Let them know. Let them know. What's really going on?
This is my Star Trek William Shatner.
I want to see a clavicle, bro. I want to win.
That is so funny.
Come on.
Wow. And is that a zipper? It's a zipper, actually. So he really has the ability to pull it up if he wanted to. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Look at here, Shawn. We wouldn't want them to get the wrong idea, right?
Shawn, he should change it to Shawn for the Street Show. Shawn is for the streets.
That's a whole other show. That's a whole other Shawn show.
That's a whole nother show. I won't be a part of that show. We not for the streets.
Like Larry.
I can't.
Slap that zipper on up. Somebody needs to slap his zipper up to the top. That's what needs to happen.
No one's slapping me. We fighting. We're going to be 2 niggas rumbling on national TV. Anyway. But yeah, Tommy, you're great as usual. Love you, brother. Thank you so much.
Love you too, man. Hey, blessings. Nice meeting you.
I appreciate you. You as well. You as well.
Bye-bye.
Talking soon. Well, Kai, it's just you and me.
He has great energy. Amazing guy. I know. I wish some other sisters jump on. I love to have that dialogue going. And because, you know, like I said, when I'm usually, and it's funny because everybody's like, well, when are you going to finally get your own platform? I'm like this little guest on everyone's live. I'm literally like being pulled into people's lives often. And so I said eventually, but we are, like I said, behind the scenes. I have a weekly webinar I do on Thursdays called Empower Hour. That information is somewhere throughout many posts on my page. And we talk, and the numbers are growing. Every week, sisters are coming out. And also, and here's the thing, I don't like to put all the shine on this. and make it about me, because this is really like a conversation for everyone. But I am a cancer survivor, and that was the start of that. Yes, stage 3 cancer survivor, and my journey was holistic. So I did no chemo, no radiation. So I want people to know, especially sisters in particular, we have options. I'm not saying that medicine sometimes isn't necessary, and doctors and that whole thing there, but let me tell you something, that faith ain't no joke, and it's real. Okay, and so it started from that place, because people say you need to talk more about it. I was writing, I had 6 tumors on my cervix, and this was in 2016 when I was diagnosed. Actually here in Atlanta at the hospital. And
where are you at?
Emory. And to be quite honest with you, and this is just being honest, I mean, literally, I think it might have been 4 days after is when it probably hit me. But initially, there was no fear. It wasn't an option that I was going to have surgery or that I was going to do that treatment. I'm somebody who volunteered at the Cancer Treatment Centers of America some years ago, here in Atlanta as well, where there's a city outside of Atlanta, down south of Atlanta in Noonan, Georgia. That's where one of the facilities are located. And so I'm aware, I mean, I witnessed firsthand what chemo does to people. And I'm not here again to knock anybody. It was what ultimately took my mom out of here, and her choice was not my choice. And I respect what her choice was for herself as far as her treatment. But it wasn't an option for me. I was like, that's what we're not going to do. Okay, because what I do know is this body has the ability to heal itself. I know that stress plays a major part. Our diet plays a major part, environment. There are so many things that came into play for me. And again, that was another shutdown moment where I had to go inside myself and say, you know, you need to do some changing, mind, body, and spirit. You got some things you got to do different. You know, you just can't have this idea that you want to live this life and you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. You know, you have to have discipline in more than just one area of your life. You know, you can't eat what you want to eat and think that at some point it's not going to catch up to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's really where it started. I just wanted to get into that community of cancer survivors and really speak to that. And then there was a lot of sisters that was coming on, and they were currently dealing in their diagnosis, and you know, they were fearful. So we was just trying to empower and encourage them in any way that we can, give them as much information as we can. And then it just kind of turned into a thing where every week it seemed like we were just on there encouraging each other. We were networking. You know, people were getting business ideas, all kind of beautiful things were happening. And I said, this is the community that I visioned. This is what I said I wanted. I spoke this thing years ago. This is sisterhood, duh. So we just started making it a very regular thing. And then, of course, I started thinking ahead and saying at some point there'll be a podcast and this, that, and the third. But I enjoy moments like this when I can come on other people's platforms, because you obviously have followers that I don't have. I said, and it gives other sisters a chance to hear me where they probably would not have under different circumstances. So I'm grateful for any moment where I can speak.
Give people information about you. So there she is. Women look
at you.
So this is a pretty woman.
Today, look, sisters, I know y'all on here. Today was that raw shea butter day. Today was the raw shea butter day. We wasn't giving any energy to Maybelline, Mac, or nobody else. We said we just gonna just do this right here. Au natural. Carmax, though, I gotta have, look, I swear by this stuff right here. I'm telling you, these lips can't be dry. I am always.
It's Vaseline. I gotta.
You said Vaseline. You old school with it. Okay, I'm not mad at you.
Her blog,
and then you go pull out the picture with the pink lip. Vaseline is still good. We don't have to do away with all the old stuff. Somebody told me the other day I was a little stuffy, right? And I was like, okay, what's going on? This is weird. I haven't had a stuffy nose in forever. And somebody said, get some Vicks. I said, Vicks? Do they still make Vicks?
They do still.
Not the little tube. Remember the little tube, and you can just kind of, and you snip. But like the actual cream, yeah, rub it on your chest, open up your, I was like, what?
Like
who still uses that?
It feels great, actually.
It does the job. Oh, goodness. You're going to need something because you had your chest out today. So you might be sitting somewhere tomorrow all congested out here trying to be cute for the ladies. Oh, you're gonna kick me off?
I do have the rap.
You're gonna kick me off now.
That's the truth. I do have the rap because my show is running out in about 10, 15 minutes. With that said,
That's cool.
I want to give the rundown of what you give your rundown of. Your blog. You're listed here as Wisdom of Kaya. K-Y-A-H. However, you find her at I.am.k, new Kaya, I.am.nukiyah. I am Kaya. She follows me. I'm following you back right now. The blog, it says here, multifaceted, intentional, writer, poet, speaker, photographer, artist, helping sisters heal. She does a little emoji right there. Yes. Lover of all things, Jeremiah 29:11. So listen, what I want you all to do, follow Kaya, give her grace and love and blessings. And if you get tired of her, whatever, ignore her, but follow her. All right. The sister has edified us, and hopefully all of you will follow me as well, because I still need some followers, particularly on my YouTube channel on J. Shawn Durham. So you got to look that up. But with that said, Kaya, thank you for following some brothers who are just talking some yang, because I've gotten some ass whoopings just on my point of view that I don't think is a crazy point of view, but there's a contingent that makes black women feel like they have to defend every nook and cranny of what a black man says, as opposed to, okay, there's a point, there's something. Like the only reason people make judgments about Jada Pinkett is because Jada Pinkett and Will Smith let everybody in their fucking life. I don't want to be in their life, but if you're gonna leave it open, I guess I gotta have an opinion. I think Kanye is crazy, although I thought Kym was a money grubber. Shit, she's winning right now. Both things can be true. There's things that people let us have that we don't need to have. But they give it to us because that's their only way to get notoriety, celebrity, and money. And if that's all you're vegging off of, then we have the right to be skeptical of what you're feeding us and how we receive it, and we just judge it as is. Same thing, reality TV show. I used to be on a reality TV show. I'm not foreign to this stuff, so everyone needs to just calm the fuck down. You can't have people hitting other people. Chris Rock was doing his job.
Well, we don't like to be uncomfortable, and that's the problem. That's something that's plagued our community for decades, centuries. We don't like to be uncomfortable. We want to be pacified. We want to be massaged. We want what feels good, what sounds good. That's why so many people will sit in church for 20, 30 years and nothing about their life is actually changing, because you want to go where you can be made to feel good. Well, I will say this, because I humbly appreciate you stretching forth the welcome for these sisters and brothers probably to follow me. But I will say, you won't come to my page and get pacified, and you will have moments of being uncomfortable. If you get on a live,
we deal with it and negotiate it.
You will be empowered. You will see the value in yourself. You will see the wisdom in what I shared. You also will see the humility and the fact that I'm listening to whatever it is you can offer me that can help me to be better. You'll get all of that. You'll see a post. There's times where I get a little silly and I say, okay, I feel like singing today. I might jump on my guitar. I'm multifaceted, like I said, but I know the times that we're in right now, and I know what is needed most. And I don't know about others and how passionate you are when it comes to us, but I am truly, 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 truly a Black woman that loves my people. I love us. And sometimes it hurt like hell to love us, because some of us are difficult, but I love us. And so, yeah, I can be in places that are not the most comfortable, but I show up authentically. Nothing changes. I'll be this same Kaya tomorrow, hopefully a better version. And that's just what it is. But yeah, we like what's, if it doesn't sound like we want it to sound, they know doggone well most of the time the things that you're saying is of value, and it's the doggone truth, period. No questions asked. But if it's not what they want to hear, then they're going to find an issue with it. So It is what it is. You're not for everybody. I made that post today too. I'm so cool with not fitting in. I told people it's funny because you hear me speak and then people actually physically go to my page and be like, oh, well, oh my gosh, you don't got like that many followers. It's only like, what, 500, 600 people. Here's what I say to that. I'm not for everybody and I have no desire to fit in. And I'm not driven by sex and money. And you won't come to my page and see twerk videos and see my ass out and my body being revealed. So guess what? I'm probably forever going to be unpopular. And I'm cool with that.
She's cool with that. We're cool with her. Follow her. She writes. She's a poetess. She's a philosopher.
I got a lot of stuff.
Queen. And she has a sexy earring in her lip. And some things going on with that, and that's the distraction. The man was like, "Yeah, I'm down with everything." Yeah, that's sexy as hell. What you got going on?
I'm so glad you didn't ask me if that was the only piercing. I'm getting off of your live right now.
You're starting some other things. You're starting a lot of other things. I just flew in from Tampa Bay. Don't start anything else.
Because it's clear it's not the only one. It's like, look. You don't see many of them. I just have like maybe a handful, but it's like the tattoos and you hear people say, oh, it's so addictive. You get one, you're going to get another. I promise you it's that. I'm done. Like everything that I got, they're years old. I didn't run out and go get this last week. 40-something-year-old woman, whatever, not me. But I mean, these are things that I went through what I went through and it is what it is, but it's not the only one. So we can talk about that on the next slide.
You have to have your faith there. But with that said,
yeah,
I'm going to wrap with her. I got to let you go because I got to wrap up my portion of the show. Right?
Okay.
But
I appreciate you.
Listening. And then, whatever.
Gratitude. Appreciate you.
Same. God's on the street.
Bye, everybody.
Nakaya gave us some truth, some honesty.
Take me out of here, love. I'm sorry. I don't know how to get going. Is it just the X?
Yeah,
hit the X? Okay, I'm gone.
My friend had to figure this out too. Did she go? Oh, she did. Oh, it's just me. Hi there. So, these overtimes usually stretch the whole show into a full 4 hours. So that's what's happening here. About 5 to 10 minutes left in the overtime. And then I'll let you go. If there's more than a dozen people by the end of the overtime time frame, I will start again and I'll give you a final hour before I go to Wawa and get myself something to eat. Yes, I was in Tampa Bay. Here's a picture that I haven't shared with anybody. That's me in St. Petersburg, Florida, showing off the Braves cap. And while I haven't done a lot of working out, I think I still look pretty good body-wise. Those are some new shades, by the way. And, pictures like this exists. Can't tell you where that was, but that's a real picture. What else we got going on? What else do I have that I can share? We earlier started the show talking about Chris Rock's first appearance since the Will Smith assault. And it was assault, folks. It was assault. And we want to try to make not a big deal of it. But just because we talk a lot about something that shocks us all and we hear so much about it does not mean that it was not what it was. This was assault. One man's doing his job, telling jokes. Did he know or was he sensitive enough to alopecia? Okay, he wasn't. Have other men or women had to sit by and watch their spouses get filleted? Which he didn't fillet her, by the way. Yes, they have. And none of them have gone up on that stage like that. Black on black crime. A-list on A-list black on black crime. Chris Rock today said, I'm still processing it. He said that at his in his Boston show tonight. Rock said that he was not going to do any jokes just yet, but whatever he says when he's ready to say it will be measured, will be thought through, will be funny, will be poignant. That's me paraphrasing all the things that he said. He does not need to do anything on anyone else's timetable. Because, just like we say with women, and this is differently so because it's a man, he could have swung back, but boy, that would have been a scene, wouldn't it? But just like we say with women, he reserves the right to talk and speak when he's ready. And also, he does not have to act irrationally, like his attacker acted irrationally on him. What a hell of a scene, right? Black ass Oscars. There's this as well. I can't blow it up. But it's basically someone saying, remember, Will Smith also abandoned this woman when he was first on the scene. Is that fair or not? I don't know. But I decided to share it just in case. All right. That's enough of the sharing. Any questions for me? We're going to take about 2 weeks off. We're going to do speed dating, by the way. Speed dating if you're in the DMV area. South of the DMV in Alexandria, Kitchen Crate. Speed dating. We got plenty of spots available. It's available. I will have the link up tomorrow on my page. Also, speaking of my page, follow me at the J. Shawn Durham YouTube page. We are this close to getting ourselves 100 followers. We've gained followers the past few days. Thank you. I applaud you. If we get 100 followers, then I could personalize a YouTube page, and it'll be easier to promote and market, and then there'll be different ways that you can actually enjoy this program. Speaking of which, when we come back in 2 weeks, I said a 2-week break. It's 2 weeks off, so it's a 3-week break, really. But when we come back in 3 weeks, I will also have us online via podcast. So you'll be able to listen to us now that suckers are going back to work. So listen to us. And if you have the opportunity to see us, cool. But the MP3 life is going to happen. We will be available on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your fine podcasts. Because I think the listening medium is more accessible and easier now that we're going back to work and we're coming back into these office spaces. Thank you, LaShawn. I feel good. Hey, Chocolate Barbie. How are you, baby? Jocelyn, thank you for the follow. How is everybody? Anybody else? Bueller? Okay, cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end this part of the broadcast. I will pop back up live in about 2-3 minutes. We'll move around cameras and things, and I'll talk to you for a good hour because I had a nice vacation. It'd be nice to talk to you. All right? So give me about 3 minutes. Let's say 12:05. Okay? 12:05, and I will see you all soon. Thank you all so much. God bless.